That had Keanu Reeves, right? Was
Yes.
that? Yeah. Gable's in first break.
Was that?
Gable's first break.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome in. Throughout Brown Shows on the radio, this is the Fan Upstate. How y'all doing? Everybody good? Happy Tuesday. Hope you are exceptionally well, friends.
Nope.
No? That's too bad.
It's slow driving Tuesday.
Lonzo had a mild case of the road rage when he got here.
I was not angry.
Just
I was
infuriated.
I was just it's where you're laughing it off, where you get behind one slow person, you're like, okay, it's not going to happen again, and then you do. It's I think 5 in total, including one guy on 385 decided to just block the whole thing for a while. So I mean, he was having a wonderful conversation. You know, those people who talk with their hands. Whoever he's talking to, there's a lot of pointing going on. So I'm like, man, I hope this doesn't erupt into fisticuffs, or I'm going to have to find an alternate route.
Speaking of, Zoe, speaking of infuriating.
I need y'all. I'm going to say y'all. I mean, just collectively, everybody. I need y'all collectively to raise your kids better. All right. And here's why I say this. Last night, me and a couple of the boys put together a little roadie, and we took off and headed over to the ATL to go to the Braves-Yankees game in Truist. You know, that was one of the games I had circled at the beginning of the year. Anytime you get a chance to go watch the Yankees play, you do it. And when they come to your park in a little intra-league, it seems like a special occasion. So me and the boys decided on a Monday night to go ahead, throw it all together, jump in the rig, head on over to the ATL, go down to the Battery, and enjoy. And I expected a decent number of Yankees fans. It's the biggest bandwagon in American sports, right? So I knew there were going to be some Yankees fans there, and I'm not the dude that gets into it with away team fans. Don't care, right? Like, hey, if you're cool, you're cool. And if you're not, you're not.
If I were to root for baseball, I would root for the Yankees because people hate them for no reason.
No, there's a lot of reasons to hate
them. Mostly because of, they've spent all this money to buy these players, to buy championships. When's the last time they won a championship? You need to let that stuff go.
Been a minute. Anyway, I expected to see some Yankees fans there, yeah? I just did. And that was all good. And I expected that a handful of kids that showed up would be Yankees fans. Sure. Again, no problem. In fact, sitting in the seat literally right next to me was a kid that was, his dad. And then on the other side of him was a kid who was a Yankees fan. And I ended up talking some ball with him. We talked a little bit about Aaron Judge. He was telling me what he thought was wrong with the Yankees. And right in the midst of this conversation, I'm sitting there like, you know what? The game's in good hands, right? I've told you guys this. I truly believe baseball is in good hands in the next generation. The Little League World Series is going on. Those kids are out there living their dream. And one or two of those kids you're watching in the Little League World Series, you're going to see pictures from this year's Little League World Series in about 10 years when they make their MLB debut. It's great. The game's in great hands. And then, Zoe, about 3 rows ahead of me, there was a kid, Yankees fan. Now, the Yankees put up a run in the top of the first inning. This kid, in his Yankees jersey and Yankees ball cap, turned around to the Braves fans, of which obviously we were the majority, and he starts doing this. Doing the for those of you not watching the stream, which is most of you, starts doing the crying eye wipe, you know? Like the old stereotypical when the fighter makes fun of the other fighter and he does the boo-hoo and wipes his eyes.
So I'm guessing if he turned around and double birded you, you'd be okay with it. But because he did the crying thing.
Oh, no. We're not done with the story.
Oh, okay.
We're not done with the story. He's turning it around. He's giving it to the Braves. For the record, if that kid turned around and double bird me, I'd laugh hysterically.
That was my point.
Laugh hysterically.
Thank you.
But even that, I kind of found it funny. Like, all right, this kid's having some fun. I like that. All the Braves fans are like talking smack back to him, but it's a kid. So, they're just kind of playing with him. It was great. Thought it was great. And then the Braves got that run back. And of course, everybody in the section, myself included, started looking at that kid and doing it back to him. He did not find that as funny as when he did it. Then we got to the third inning. And in the third inning, the Braves' bats came alive, dudes. Like, the Braves started hitting the ball. And in the third inning of that game last night, the Atlanta Braves, they put up 3 in the second. They put up 4 more in the third. So they ended up in the third inning, Lonzo, with an 8-2 lead over the Yankees. This kid, who at one point had turned around to us and given us the cry, guys, 3 rows ahead, I see him with his dad walk away. They leave, which, hey, man, it's a ballpark. You can go get some popcorn, get you a hot dog. I'm going to tell you right now, we were out in right field. So they had a world-class taco bowl available for purchase.
Beef, chicken, what we talking
whatever
about?
You wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Guy throws some queso on top. He's like, you want some queso? I said, yeah. I said, this is weird. Can I get some extra queso? He's like, I got you, dog. I mean, it was a world-class taco bowl. It was like $12. It's not awful for stadium food.
It cost $57.
No, $12. Not awful for stadium food. So I'm thinking, all right, my dude just had a real bad go. The Yanks went up 1-0. He gave us the tear wipe emoji in real life. And then the Bravos put up 3 in the second and 4 in the third and took an 8-2 lead, right? Probably just needed a break. I get that. And then Zoe, in the top of the fourth, he makes his way back. Dad is holding a big bag with the team store logo on it. I'm like, all right. Now, Dad has a Braves t-shirt on. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of fun, right? Dad's a Braves guy. His son is going through it right now as a Yankees fan. Dad probably went to grab a new polo or something since they were out there. Pops opens the bag, Zoe. Pulls out a child-sized Ronald Acuna Jr. jersey. This kid took off his Yankees jersey, took off his Yankees hat, stuffed him in the bag, pulled out the Braves jersey and the Braves hat, and just switched teams 3 innings into the game because his was getting their back ends handed to him.
All right. Couple things here. First of all, you've just witnessed a conversion, and I don't know why you're not, it's a praiseworthy thing because, he's been converted from being one of the bad guys to one of the good guys. And I would think that you'd be okay with that. Or the kid lost a bet. We know all about those bets, losing a bet. And the kid lost a bet
in the third inning?
Yes. You don't know that couldn't happen. And Dad's like, you're paying up your debt. You're paying up your bet right here in front of everybody. You're changing jerseys.
So first off, I very highly suspect that dude lost a bet to the Pops in the third inning because
the stream, they're with me here. Joseph's here. He's with me here. You saw a conversion, man. You should be happy.
Hang on.
He's no longer a bad guy. He's a good guy now.
Hang on.
He did the turn. He went from heel to face right there, you saw it.
Hang on.
I know you want to hate him because he's a kid, but
No. Nope. Let's be very clear. I absolutely hope that kid has seen the wrong of the dark side and has come back from the evil empire and rejoin the cause. Here's what I don't love. What I don't love is you hit me with the tear wipe emoji in the first when your team went up early. And then as soon as your team got beat, not even beat, it was the third damn inning, right? It's the third inning. There's still 2/3 of the game left to be played. You're going to hit the crowd with the tear wipe emoji. And then when your team takes the black eye, you're like, nope, not with them anymore. I'm on the other team. That is some schoolyard, I'm losing, so I'm changing the rules, little brother garbage.
All right, 5 or 6 years from now, that kid's going to be playing for the Braves. You're going to be rooting for that kid.
Hope so.
And he's gonna look up in the stands. He's gonna see you up there, and he's gonna do the cry eyes thing to you. Then he's gonna hit a home run, and then you're gonna cheer him.
Hope so.
Maybe you should have walked over and said, "Hey, kid, what made you change your mind?"
There was also a guy on the bump last night for the Yankees, starting pitcher, who was a lifelong Braves fan, then got a contract with the Yankees, and now he's pitching against the Braves. I don't care about any of that. Your fandom, who you liked growing up, none of that matters when you get to the show. All that matters is who's paying you. Here's what I'm going to say. If you are teaching your kid that, hey, if your team's getting its ass kicked, it's okay to run to the store, buy a new jersey, and flip sides. Where the hell is the character building?
A lot of assumptions here by you. I think
assumptions. He was wearing a Yankees jersey. He was talking smack to the Braves fans, and the minute the Yankees got punched in the throat, all of a sudden he's like, no. Born and braved.
I gave you two possibilities, and I bet you didn't think of any other scenario other than the one that you're thinking of now. You just automatically thought that's what it is. And neither one of us can prove what it is.
No. Wait, stop. Think about it. If the kid lost the bet, first off, he lost the bet in the bottom of the third. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you, you can absolutely, as a gambler, you can make an over-under on a first 5 or a first 3. You can do whatever you want. But that means that dad was like, all right, son, what do you say we go over or under on a first 3? What do you say we go a nerfy bet? No, if you're doing that to your 8-ish-year-old kid, you're a degenerate. And that's from somebody who literally had money on the game I was at last night. All right? I had big money on that game last night. 1, 2 out of 3. Walked home way plus. It was a good night.
So what you pointed out was there's a possibility that could be the case.
Yes, I also acknowledge there's a possibility that I could grow wings and learn to fly.
No, there's no.
Very unlikely.
No. There's a possibility for the former, not the latter, because you cannot grow wings and fly.
Let me tell you what happened.
Especially the way you live, man, because you know where you're going.
Damn, Alonso. Okay.
Well, you don't believe in it. You don't believe in it, so it didn't matter.
All right. So let me tell you what happened. This is how this played out. This kid joined on the Yankees bandwagon because that's what you do, right? All the cool kids rock Yankees gear. Go watch any hip-hop video over the last 20 years. You see 2 team hats. You see the Yankees. You see the Dodgers. That's it. Those are the teams that if you're in the cool kids club, you rep. Yanks, Dodgers. That's the list, right? Now, unless you're like from Atlanta, unless you're outcast, it's Yankees or it's Dodgers. So this kid grew up. Everybody cool wears Yanks or Dodgers. So he jumped in. And his parents never once were like, why are you a Yankees fan? Why are you, it's fine if you're a Yankees fan. I got no problem. I just want you, what is the reason? What's the epistemology? I can do this. What is the reason you became a Yankees fan? I want you to
I want to look that up. There's no way I could spell that.
And the kid had no reason. But what you didn't do, what you're not doing, is you're not teaching that kid character. You're not teaching that kid that you don't abandon your position when things aren't going your way for a minute. So every time, if that kid becomes a Braves fan and he goes back to the game tonight and the Yankees go up 8-3 in the third, is he going to put his Yankees gear back on? He absolutely is. That kid is learning to be a bandwagon wuss.
All I got to say is that is probably the deepest word that you've ever said. And I learned a word today. I'll never use it, but epistemology, the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. Yep. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. Wow.
Short phrase.
Wow.
Not what do you believe? Why do you believe it? How did you arrive at your belief? So
I believe that. I'm sorry for my comment earlier. I really do feel bad about that. I don't, should have stopped myself.
I am just saying, all right? This is how you end up with a kid who's like, yeah, I'm a Yankees fan and a Cowboys fan and a Penguins fan. No, you're not, dude. You're not. You're not. You're a bandwagon hopper. That's all you are. That's the same kid that 2 years from now, yeah, forget that. I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm a Saints fan, lifelong Saints fan, right? When I was born, my mom wrapped me in a Saints blanket.
Right. And but I think you have to find your way. I don't think if it's not hereditary, if it's not forced on you, that you have to do that.
Finding your way by just rooting for the team that's either A, cool or B, good is weak as hell. You are teaching your kids no character and integrity there. All right. I'm a Saints fan. Back in 2009, the Saints won the Super Bowl. I wore my gear through the 90s when we sucked. Not we're bad, sucked. And then in 2009, the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl. I was attending the University of West Florida when it happened. Rob Brown went to class the next day. Rob was decked out, had the new Saints championship shirt, had the whole garb, black and gold till I die. And I show up on campus, and wouldn't you know it, Lonzo, all of a sudden, UWF was just full of Saints fans everywhere. People I had seen literally wearing other teams' gear were showing up on campus wearing my colors. Screw you. Get off my bandwagon. You don't just get to show up when there's hardware in the case and be like, oh, I've been here long. No. You earn your way on, kid.
All right.
You suffer through 3 or 4 or 10 or 20 years of misery and anguish, and then you get to go on. Don't switch jerseys in the 3rd inning. And I bet that if the Yankees put up an 8 spot in the 5 and went back up on top of that scoreboard, that kid would have been, Dad, hand me the bag. I need my Yankees jersey back.
All right.
No, kid.
All right. So you're on the edge of naming yourself an arbiter. You don't want to do that because who does that? And the other thing is.
So if you saw a kid in a bar wearing an Ohio State shirt and then Michigan went up 21-0 and he's like, no, Mason Blue till I die, you wouldn't be like, screw that kid.
By the way, let's just point out, this is not me killing a bit. Why am I in a bar?
Oh, that is you killing a bit, but fine.
No, it's not.
You're in a family-friendly eatery on a Saturday afternoon.
There we go. That's more.
Not
that's
a beer in 10
like,
miles.
It's know your room, Rob. Know your room.
You're
and here's the other. Why can't you go somewhere
eatery
and just have a good time? I get that life is show prep.
Had a great time.
Why do you?
The Braves beat the hell out of the Yankees. I had a lovely time.
I mean, you're there with your buddies. You're having a good time, but you have to get all stressed out about some kid. I mean, just listen, ignore it and record, watch the game.
I'm not.
Enjoy your taco bowl.
It was delicious. I was not having a great time. I did. I went and saw our buddy Brandon that shows up on the stream, went up and met him on the Hank Aaron Terrace, had a couple of shots with that guy. Like, we had a ball at the game. All I'm saying is, if this is what y'all are out there teaching your kids, that, hey, if your team's getting the crap knocked out of them, just go switch teams. That is weak, bro.
Notice what he's not really talking about is the game.
11-3 Bravos. Max Fried gets the dub. He's 4-1 on the season. 6 innings pitch, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk.
All right. So anyone who's ever been to a sporting event or any event period with me always says Lonzo's not having a good time. You know what Lonzo's not doing? He's not doing what you're doing. I'm there and I'm watching what I'm there to watch. So I don't get caught up in, why did that kid do that? Why is that lady who's sloppy drunk spilling beer on the guy in front of him and he's not saying anything to her? Why is the popcorn guy skimming money off the top? I don't care about all that. I'm there to watch the game.
For the record, I watched the game. I had a lovely time watching the game. It was a phenomenal game. And as a Braves fan who doesn't flip jerseys when they're not winning, I loved it. I didn't flip jerseys when the Braves went down 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Oh, yeah, go Yankees. You know why? Because my parents taught me better than that. All right? I had a great time at the game. It was unbelievable. We got some Ks, got to see the blooper sprint from center field with the flag. It was an amazing night. To the point that on the drive back, me and the boys were like, we could pick up tickets to tomorrow night too. We could run this thing back tomorrow night. I got nothing on a Tuesday. We could get turned up Tuesday and go back and do it again.
Good shot. That kid won't be there tomorrow or tonight either. So I mean,
Yeah, he will.
to ruin your
he'll probably bring it back with both jerseys. Kid wins. Teach your kids better. All right, teach your kids better. Teach your kids integrity and character. Teach them adversity. Teach them how to stick with your team thick and thin, not literally flip jerseys in the third inning. Weak. Very weak, man. That's my mom telling me that this segment's inappropriate and she's not listening anymore. And that's not a joke.
Well, lucky for her, it's break time.
Sure is. Let's do that. Hey, speaking of the Atlanta Braves, they do get the win last night, 11-3 over the Yankees. They are now 76-42, best record of Major League Baseball. I have got a couple of MLB storylines that are going to play out through the rest of the run through this series as we rapidly approach 40 games remaining. I'm going to give those to you coming up later in the show. The AP Top 25 is out. We're going to take a look at that. Did the Gamecocks get any respect in this poll? Spoiler alert, no. But we'll talk about it. Clemson FSU, one spot apart from each other again. Who got the nod? Talk about that. It's going to be a big day. Hope you guys hang out. We're going to have fun. Woosah. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. Collectively, we make up the two-time South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the Year. We are the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. All right, guys, we got a live read right here. Stay there. We'll be right back.
lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain.
That was fun. I do really feel bad about, something I said, but, and I'll feel bad forever because,
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider.
Don't ask me hard questions right now, Trey. I'm feeling lamenting. I don't think I've heard them before. Maybe I have. I don't know, Trey. Yeah, there's that. I still feel bad, though.
Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC company you can trust. A company like Priority Heating and Air. HVAC specialists will give you.
So it wasn't Lou texting you going, "Why are you mad at kids?"
No, because Lou is a Cubs fan because of his dad. And I brought Lou to a Braves game last year, and Lou was cheering for the Braves. But I was like, "Oh, you're a Braves fan." And he looks and he goes, "No, I hate the Cardinals," which is the Cubs' rivals. He gets it. He was not cheering for the Braves. He was cheering against his Cubs rival. That kid has been to one Major League Baseball game, and he was all in. And as much as I hate that he's a Cubs fan, I respected my nephew in that moment. In the deepest way possible.
So your brother sent me a friend request during the Star Awards.
Did he?
So the Hair Nation grows. It does. Right after I posted the victory pick. Wow, that's this Saturday. Then Rob gets to go huff.
Dude, I'm going to have to write all my show prep. Do not say, "Oh." Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Real quick, I'm not sticking on this. I'm not sticking on it. We're going to talk baseball here in a second. But I have to address something Lonzo said. And if you're not watching the stream, ordinarily you get these topics, these conversations off the air on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, because it is still twitter.com, on Twitch or on YouTube, the Fan Upstate and the Rob Brown Show. Pardon me. He said, "Are you sure it wasn't your nephew texting you going, 'Why do you hate kids?'" No, I know it's not. And I know it's not because last year on the 4th of July, the fam met me in the ATL, and we took my nephew Lou to his very first Major League Baseball game. The Braves were hosting the Cardinals. Now, my mother was born in Chicago, and for whatever reason, I think she dropped him on his head. My brother grew up a Cubs fan, all right? I think it was the rebelliousness because everybody else was a Braves fan in the Southeast. So he picked the next connection he had, which was the Chicago Cubs. So therefore, my little nephew Lou was growing up a Cubs fan, which I consider child neglect, but, to each their own. So we went to the game, and we were like an inning or two in, and the Braves scored. My nephew was like, "Yeah, let's go." I said, "Oh, you're a Braves fan now?" And he said, "No. I hate the Cardinals, the Cubs' primary rival." He's like, "No, I hate the Cardinals." I said, "You're cheering for the Braves." My nephew, who was like, 4 or 5 at the time, goes, "No, I'm cheering against the Cardinals." He was dyed true blue Cubbies at a game the Cubs weren't at. Now, I did get him to give me a go Braves at the end, mainly because I got him to the game, so he had to give me something. But when asked, are you in for the Bravos, his answer was absolutely not. I just hate the Cardinals. I'm not cheering for the Braves. I'm cheering against the Cardinals. I respect that. That's how you do it. All right? The Cubs are well, they're actually pretty good right now. And we're going to talk about that as we get closer to the playoffs. But up until this year, the Cubs have straight up stank. And yet that kid showed up to a Braves-Cardinals game and said, no, I don't like the Braves. I just hate the Cardinals. I don't respect that. He owned it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, speaking of, let's talk about this. Got a handful of things that are intriguing about baseball. We're not talking enough baseball on this show, all right? We're just not. Especially for somebody who hosts the nationally syndicated baseball gambling show every Saturday from noon to 4 called Bet for the Cycle on the BetQL network alongside former MLB player Cody Decker.
I think I want to hear some college football expansion.
I thought you might. We'll get to that. Now we're number 2. No, we won't. Have you noticed it's been very quiet on the expansion front the last week and a half?
Not a whole lot of teams to take right now. So, I mean, there's only 4 available. So, I mean,
Told you. We have basically hit the point where there's very little money remaining out there. Because there's no money, there's no movement. So we'll talk about that. Maybe. No, we won't. I feel like we've done enough. We will talk baseball, though. And why the hell not talk about the Atlanta Braves? Why not talk about the Bravos? Because there's multiple things going on for Atlanta right now that if you are a Braves fan, you got to be very excited about. The first is Ronald Acuna Jr. It blows my mind that he is a NL MVP odds-on favorite right now. And it's not particularly close, to be honest. The AL MVP is Shohei Ohtani, all right? Right now at Caesar Sportsbook, Lonzo, Shohei Ohtani is minus 10,000 to win the AL MVP. Minus 10,000. The next closest player is Kyle Tucker from the Astros, who is plus 6,000 to catch up with Shohei. That race is over. Over in the NL, it's closer. How closer? This closer. Ronald Acuna Jr. is minus 1,600 to be your NL MVP. The next closest player is Freddie Freeman from the Dodgers at plus 800. After that, it's Mookie Betts at plus 4,500. And then Matt Olson, also with the Bravos, at plus 5,500. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a ridiculous number. And the reason Ronnie is where Ronnie is right now is those numbers, right? He's hitting 340 right now. His OPS is over 1. That is stupid. There is not we were talking about the Yankees. The Braves playing a 3-gamer at the house with the Bronx Bombers right now. There is not a Yankee right now with an OPS over like 770. Ronnie's at over 1. Ronnie has 26 home runs. He has scored 101 runs. He has 53 stolen bases. If you are like me and you dive deep into the really technical numbers or the really deep dive numbers, right? When a guy leads off with his left foot, he steals X versus Y with his right foot, whatever. Then the power speed number, which is the balance between stolen bases and home runs. There's only a few players of note that are in that mix. The last power speed number that registered as we knew we were seeing something special. You got to go back to 1998 when Alex Rodriguez had 42 home runs and 46 steals. Right now, Ronnie's on 26 dingers and 53 takes. So he's already shattered A-Rod's steals number. He's going to threaten. I don't think he's going to get there. He's going to be probably in the low to mid 30 HR range unless he just goes on an absolute tear. But what he lacks in home runs, he's probably going to come up 5 to 8 short of A-Rod. He's made up for the fact that he's already at 53 stolen bases to A-Rod's 46. That's a ridiculous number. But we're not done there. The most home runs in a 50 steal season is Eric Davis. Back in 1987, he had 37 home runs that year. Ronnie's going to threaten that. Again, I don't think he's getting there, but he'll threaten it. The most home runs in a 70 steal season. Ronnie can get to 70 steals. He needs 17 more. He's at 53. The most home runs in a 70 steal season was back in 1986. It's a guy that even if you're not a baseball fan, you know his name. How about great one, Ricky bleeping Henderson?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah. So even if you're not a baseball guy, you know Ricky, and Ronnie is putting up a season that is in Ricky Henderson in his prime territory.
By the way, I also remember Eric Davis. So me not being a very big baseball fan, like not really at all, those names though, they cross over because it's such a big deal what they were doing.
Yeah. And Ronnie's putting up a year that is going to have his name upside Rodriguez, Davis, Henderson. We're not done there. The last player to score 140 runs in a season. Ronnie's well on pace to do that. He'll probably get closer to 150. The last player to score 140 runs in a season was Alex Rodriguez back in 2007. He had 143. Ronnie's going to cap that number unless he gets hurt. The most stolen bases in a 30 home run season, because Ronnie will get to 30. Again, I think you're looking low to mid 30s is likely. The most stolen bases in a 30 home run season, you got to go back to 1990 for the finesse speed guy, Lonzo, that is Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds had 33 home runs and 52 stolen bases back in 1990.
I mean, the guy who has a home run record? That guy?
Little head, big old body. Not exactly a guy that you looked during his mashing days and went, that guy's going to steal some bases. Not really. But Ronnie is there. Names like Rodriguez, Henderson, Davis, Bonds. That's the season this guy's having. But here's the best part. The best part is Ronnie on any team is having a historic year. But then you partner him with Matt Olson. Matt Olson, who has taken the MLB home run lead away from Shohei Ohtani. Ozzie Albies. Austin Riley. Riley's gone, he hit 28 last night? Austin Riley's going to get to probably 40, 41, 42, somewhere in that range. This team rakes, dude. And the best part about this team raking is that there's no part of the lineup that's soft, right? Because I can go all the way down to Michael Harris II. Michael Harris II has an OPS of 807. Just to put that in perspective, that is a higher OPS than Francisco Lindor. That is a higher OPS than Fernando Tatis Jr. That is a higher OPS than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's the 9-hole hitter for Atlanta. You understand? The 9-hole is where you put the worst bat on the team. They bat last. They bat end of the rotation. The worst bat on the team is sitting on an 807 OPS higher than Lindor, Tatis, and Guerrero Jr. That is ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. The Braves lead the majors in runs scored, which is stupid. They have, last I checked, and I believe last night went a long way till bumping it up. But last I checked, they are the MLB's run differential leader, and the gap is growing. The Braves in Texas had been flipping that lead back and forth for a few weeks. Now it is squarely in the pocket of the Atlanta Braves. And I'll give you the numbers just because they're fun to me. The Braves are plus 201 in run differential. The Rangers are the next closest team at plus 193. The next team behind them, you go from Braves at 201, Texas at 193, to Tampa at 147, the Dodgers at plus 136, and then the Astros at 82. Those Astros, the AL favorite Astros, have a plus 82 run differential. The Braves are at plus 201. This team is mashing right now. And they've had a couple of cold spots, right? Coming off the All-Star break. But if you've listened to this show, I told you that was going to happen. I told you. Teams that are built on chemistry in the lineup, and the Braves are the definition, almost exclusively and without fail, have a cold spot after the All-Star break. When you take 3 or 4 days off, you can lose momentum, rhythm, timing.
Wait. So all that panic that you had after the All-Star break, that was
I feel pretty good again.
Okay, all right.
I feel pretty good again.
So I figured that you did.
I feel pretty good again.
So you're saying the Braves, they're okay. They're all right now.
For now.
Okay.
I reserve the right to push the panic button again later. So now at this point,
I wonder if engineering can make me a Braves panic button.
are you saying you can? Or you just want an actual
No,
button?
I like
It's like an actual.
I like physical props,
Okay.
man. Yeah, I want to see one. That way it will show up on the stream.
I respect that.
We can make a virtual one just to have up there whenever it's time.
The Braves are 76-42. The next closest team is the Baltimore Orioles at 74-45. The next closest team behind that are the Rays at 72-49. The Rays have finally come out of the slump just a little, not a ton, but just a little bit. They played 6-18 ball last month, but they're 6-4 in the last 10. The Rangers are 71-48. The Dodgers are 71-46. All of them lined up behind Atlanta. An Atlanta team who went on a cold snap and have now got the bats hot again. Big win for the Braves last night. Let's take a break. They are the NL favorite. They are the World Series favorite, and those numbers show you why. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. I need Alonzo as the P single.
Yeah, you knew. I knew you knew what you were.
I really did not, honestly.
Okay.
I really did not.
Their lead atop the National League East, 11.5 games over Philadelphia. Panthers training camp continues this week following last Saturday's 27-0 preseason opening loss against the Jets. This week, the Panthers are on the road at New York. They'll face the Giants this Friday. The Fan Upstate is your home for Furman Paladins football. Listen to the season opener versus Tennessee Tech Thursday, August 31st at 5:30. Download the Odyssey app, search the Fan Upstate, and listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders with the Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
If you're hired, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all
And my
my
granddaughter was wearing my shoes again.
ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Is Velcro too tight?
What one was tight and it was off center, and it's like someone hastily put it back. So yeah. She keeps growing the way she is. Her feet end up being bigger than mine anyway.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey, Mike, I like the lights.
Oh, hey, Jack. Yeah.
I gotta say, Chatter, when I hear Guerrero, I think the same thing too. I think Juventud. I can't help it.
Disrespect to Vladdy.
Yeah, well, you know.
You think Juventud before Eddie?
Yeah, Chatter, I am that old, by the way. I turn a double nickel next month. But I'm youthful right here. The body, not so much.
We had a very long discussion on the drive back last night. 5 guys in their late 20s to late 30s, because I'm in my late 30s now. We had a heated discussion trying to rank the top 5 Disney movies. Lasted a solid hour of the trip.
Yeah, but are you going overall? Or are you so
We're
you're
including Pixar, we're including animated, we're talking remakes. We included every Disney movie. And
so no Marvel, just Disney itself.
Disney in general. Yeah,
Okay.
like Disney, like
No
classic
Star
Disney.
Wars. Yeah, okay.
We could not agree on
Thank you,
order
by the
of
way.
top 5. But we put in that top 5 Lion King, Aladdin, Hercules, Toy Story. What was the last one? I put Coco in there. They went Encanto.
See, my top 5 would be different to a degree because I'm older, and so I do agree with.
Aladdin in there.
No,
It's like the early 90s.
dude. I mean,
Lowe's putting Snow White.
no. I would put Robin Hood in there though because that was my favorite movie as a kid.
That got
Robin
some-
Hood with the fox.
That got some votes.
Yeah, and the snake was the king, I think, and or was he the sheriff? I don't know. It's been a while since I saw it, but I definitely would put Aladdin in there, and I would put Lion King in there. But I'd also put Robin Hood in there. And I'm trying to think of I think it's what matters most to when you were a kid or if you had kids. And Lion King's way up there. Because everyone breaks into a Hakuna Matata at some point. You just can't help it.
Oh, yeah. We also had a discussion of the best songs, to which I said, yo, Be Prepared is just an absolute banger of a song. That was probably the first time in any of these movies where I'm like, oh, the bad guy could win this.
You know what? I might also put Jungle Book in there. And basically, Robin Hood and Jungle Book was just kind of the same characters.
Well, Lou deserves more love.
Yeah. Because Bare Necessities is that's a cool song. I'm sold. I have to go back and see, what Disney movies existed and go, oh yeah, I saw that. I really like that. But there could be a new one at some point that blows all those away. Love Monsters, Inc.
All right, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. Good to have you. Rob Alonzo with you on what's today? Tuesday? Is it only Tuesday? We got back in last night at like 1:30. And Rob ain't 25 anymore. All right. And I feel it every minute of this morning so far. Well worth it.
When me, you, and Joe went to Columbia, I thought I was going to die the next day. But we got stuck in traffic.
But yeah.
I mean, we were in traffic for a long time, and it took you guys even longer to get home.
Yep.
And so I know what's that's like, and I'm a lot older than you guys. But I mean, I used to work overnight all the time, and when I worked overnight, I could stay up late stay up till dawn. It didn't bother me. But once you get into your late 30s, especially when you get in your 40s, all that stuff is done.
Yeah, we got halfway home last night, and I was like, "Oh, I am tired. I am tired." The alarm hit this morning at about 5:15, and your boy regretted. I didn't regret anything. Again, it was a great trip. Alarm.
You did say it.
Alarm.
I mean, all right.
Alarm.
All right.
Is that the rule behind that? If I just say that word?
I don't disclose my rules
Fair enough.
because I reserve the right to change them as we go.
Also fair enough. So we talked some Bravos. I want to talk some other storylines that's going on. One of them is about the team that we discussed last night. That, of course, would be the New York Yankees. Because the Yankees are right now threatening to do something that they have not done in 30 years. The Yankees have a 30-year streak of never having a losing season. 30 years. The last losing season came in 1992. I was 7. The last time the Yankees had a losing season. That is a streak Yankees fans are very proud of right now. Since then, the Dodgers have had 3 losing seasons. The Braves have had 5. The Cardinals have had 5. The Pittsburgh Pirates have had 26 losing seasons since the last time the Yankees had a losing season. Now, the Yankees with that L last night dropped to 60-59. They are 14 games back in the AL East. They are dead last in the AL East. I don't care about that, right? Like, the goal of every team is to make the playoffs for sure. But is there not, Zoe, do you think if you're on that team, is there not like a great amount of pressure to not ruin a 30-year streak, to not be on the team that ended the 30-year no-losing season streak? Because I got to feel like as much as I would rather not be on that team than be on a playoff team.
Yeah, but at what point do you start thinking about that? I mean,
now?
In September? I don't know. I guess. I would say that each player would say they take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
That's
who else would
do.
say that? Every player at every postgame presser.
Absolutely.
Hey, Aaron Judge, you guys are threatening a 30-year no-losing season streak. How do you feel about it? Oh, we're just taking it one game at a time.
He's like, yeah, we suck, but I'm good. Have you seen me play?
I'm just making my $79 million a year to DH. Let's take a break. Next hour, college football. I want to take a look at quarterbacks. We've done all the rankings, right? The AP Top 25 is out. We're going to take a look at that. But I want to talk quarterbacks. I want to talk Cade Klubnik. I want to talk Spencer Rattler. I want to talk Jordan Travis. ESPN has put out an article where they have quoted and cited college football head coaches and defensive coordinators from around the conferences that these guys are playing in. I want to read you some of those quotes. Get your thoughts. Get your reactions. We'll break that down next. I'm Rob, the great one's on the mic. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Yeah, Aladdin had some killer songs. I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me.
How about a little more baklava?
I had never had baklava, but after that, I wanted to try some, and it's really good.
It is really good. Have some of column A, try all of column B. Well, I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never met a friend like me. Bwah, 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 bwah.
Leave it at work and have them take care of it for me, but as the TD champs champion, I feel like it's my responsibility to always have this and be responsible for it when I'm not just at work. Same great show, new time.
According to IGN, someone beat Baldur's Gate 3 in 10 minutes.
Come on.
I am.
There's more than 10 minutes of cutscenes.
You can skip past cutscenes if it's spacebar. You can jam past them. But why? I mean, I get doing it like after the game's been out for a year, but why? Just to say to be that.
Why would you speed run your first time?
Yeah, because it takes all the fun out of the game. Yeah, I guess that's what it's about. But spend that much money for a game.
Yeah, that would be my thought.
He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much
Huh. Didn't know that.
Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
93.3, the planet's concert leader, and Rise Guys P1 Locker presents Sublime. Sublime in concert at the Foundry in Greenville tonight. Sublime with special guest Rome, sponsored by Adam and Eve.
I'm not surprised that you said that, Kevin. But is that under Disney's? I don't know. Yeah, I did that a long time ago. But I didn't make it to level 100 because something else came out and got my attention. I'm trying to get through Baldur's Gate 3 before, I think it's the second week of September when Starfield comes out, because then I will be occupied for 6 months probably. Because there are 1,000 planets, and I've got to go to all of them. Even if I just touch down and then get back just to say that I went to it. And the fact that it's a single player game, so I don't have to worry about anybody else having come to my planet. I'm now looking through Disney films because, Oh, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Forgot about that. Treasure Island. That was a good.
Treasure Island was underappreciated.
Yeah.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. As a kid, I really loved that movie too.
Automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently.
Davy Crockett and the River Pirates.
Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets for Liz Linen?
Shaggy Dog. Oh, there's one. There's one of my favorites. Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And by the way, yes, Odie has seen it. Goes to Ireland and all that.
Checks out.
He has some leprechaun stories. It's interesting. Sign of Zorro. Swiss Family Robinson. I always like that too. You probably haven't seen that.
I have.
Have you? Okay.
Probably not in 30 years.
Yeah,
but-
me either. I'm just looking at all the movies that's listed on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that was a live action, wasn't it?
Yeah. Flubber. Kurt Russell. The original had Kurt Russell in it. That darn cat. Wow, I'm just now getting to the 70s.
Third Numeros of the Rob Brown Show starts now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? It's good to be with you. I am Rob Brown, the great Lonzo on the other side of the metaphorical glasses AM. If you should like to be a part of the radio broadcast, now is an excellent time to do just that. The phone lines are open at 844-326-3663. 844-326-3663. Nope. You can text us. Nope. On the carpros.com text line at 71307. 71307 is the number. Thanks, Heather.
Poof.
Oh, I threw a couple more in, by the way, including my favorite. Can we get some more Val Venus love on the show?
Yeah, I'm not sure that his gimmick would work in today's wrestling.
I think it would work perfectly.
In AEW, probably. I don't know if WWE would go for that gimmick again.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. So anyway, I'm up in the soundboard game. So
good for you. Should I leave it on?
You can't be serious.
That's not the right one.
Hell no. What kind of questions that?
That is my favorite clip, by the way. Without question, that's the best clip I have on the board.
Hell no. What kind of questions that?
Perfect.
You know
Perfection from Shane.
Do you know what my favorite is?
I already know. I'm not going to play with it anymore.
Yeah, stop it.
Yep.
I haven't used that one in a while.
Yep. Knew it. All right, let's get to some more stuff, shall we? Let's check the text line. Carpros.com text line 71307. Texter said, it's baseball. There's still plenty of time to watch, Rob.
Yeah, how many games are left? Like 75 or something?
50.
Okay, all right.
About 50. We're getting down to it. We are in the dog days. I will not disagree with that. We are in the dog days. I do get, as a baseball fan, this is where it gets a little frustrating because, we've kind of set the goal of like 3 baseball segments a week, except for college football starts in a week and 2 days. And once college football starts, my baseball talk is gone.
Well, and there's also the fact that NFL preseason's going on right now and high school football starts this week. I mean,
that one needs more love too.
Yeah, I know what it's from, but it just made me feel less than intelligent.
Anyway.
Oh, you haven't watched from last night yet either, so you don't. No. You don't know that our friend had to get on some people, including his boy Kaiser. So.
Oh no, that was early in the show. I was catching up.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. My man Otis still getting it done. Let's talk quarterbacks in the world of college football, shall we? Let's talk some QBs from around the country, because as the NFL goes college ball, and over the past few years, quarterbacks have become the name of the game at both levels. And we can start by looking down a list of the Heisman Trophy hopefuls as it starts. And obviously, you've got to start the list off with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is the odds-on favorite. But it's honestly, and we've talked about this, not by a ridiculous margin. Caleb Williams is 5-1 to repeat as Heisman Trophy winner. Jaden Daniels is 10-1. Quinn Ewers 12-1. So is Jordan Travis. Cade Klubnik 14-1. And by the way, created some separation, because a while back he was 16-1, tied with Michael Penix Jr. He's now 14-1 with a slight advantage.
It's all that stuff he's done on the field so far this season that's made him separate, right?
Hey man, it's Vegas. They got their ways. All right. So we start with Caleb Williams, the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner, who, according to ESPN, and this article was put out earlier by Adam Rittenberg from ESPN. According to Adam Rittenberg, he spoke to some coaches and said that the reason people are fawning over Caleb Williams is because he is the unscripted playmaker right? I don't have a problem with that at all. Last year, Caleb Williams was playing behind a shoddy USC offensive line, and he won a Heisman. This year, that offensive line is dramatically improved. It's a better OL.
So what you're saying,
how big of a threat is this guy?
So what you're saying, he won't be as impressive this year because he won't have odds to overcome, which means he won't win it again.
For the record, I actually don't think that you're far off. I really don't. I don't think he's going to have to make as many highlight plays as he made last year. And if he doesn't have to make highlight plays, what do you put on the highlight reel? I actually think you're that. For the record, I'm not putting a Heisman Trophy bet down. I don't bet on the Heisman. It's one of the preseason awards I won't touch. But if I was going to, Caleb Williams would not be the guy I bet on. Not because I don't think he's the best quarterback. This is next year's #1 overall pick. Calling that shot now. I'm doing it because when you have a highlight year like you had last year, and then you don't have highlights this year because your team got that much better, and I think they will. Plus, he's now had, although he was with Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma before he moved over, the rest of that team, for the most part, was not. Now they've had a year to get it down. I'm not taking Caleb Williams. So we look down the list. Who else is there? Next up, Jaden Daniels at LSU. Jaden Daniels out of LSU is currently listed as the #2 quarterback on the Heisman board at 10-1 odds. Jaden Daniels, a transfer into LSU, who went from who's that guy in the game against FSU last year to he's that guy. 68.6% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. But what stood out is that there may not be a quarterback who is more shifty than Jaden Daniels. He led the team in carries with 186 last year. He led the team in yards with 885 last year. He led the team in rushing touchdowns with 11 last year. Rittenberg quoted another SEC defensive coordinator as saying he's hell on wheels as far as running the ball, not necessarily extending plays, but scrambling. As good as he is, he was afraid to pull the trigger as a passer sometimes. There might be receivers open, and he held onto the ball and just trusted his legs more than he did his arm, even though he has a really good arm. That's probably because he's so athletic and he's been able to get away with it his whole life. If he figures that part out, year 2 in the system, pre-snap and post-snap reads and where to go with the ball before he has his hands on the ball, it's not going to be good for defenses, end quote. That coach went on to tell Rittenberg that he thought Daniels came back to LSU with an eye on learn to trust the arm, not the legs, right? He could have been a guy who went to the league last year. He could have been a guy that probably was a mid-first round pick, but decided to come back this year to LSU to show, hey, I can throw it around a little bit. And under Brian Kelly and a pro-style offense, he's got a real opportunity to do that. I'm going to call the shot now. If you are betting Heisman, Jaden Daniels at 10-1 is not a bad pick. Really not. LSU is going to be much improved. LSU is going to be a threat to capture the SEC West crown in its finale. I think LSU is good enough to beat Alabama. I don't think they're getting enough credit. I think LSU, FSU to open the year might be a candidate for college football game of the year. It was college football game of the year last year. It might do it again this year. Let's keep going down. How about Lonzo, the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns? Sorry, read that wrong. Quinn Ewers, ladies and gentlemen. Quinn Ewers out of Texas is maybe the most intriguing quarterback.
Yeah, chatter on the stream was asking about the Texas quarterback with the hair, and that would be Quinn Ewers. Hopefully he still has that hair. If I recall, he had a killer mullet going for a while.
He had a killer mullet going for a while. A killer mullet going for a while. In fact, just because I love you guys, I'm going to pull up on the stream right now. This is why you got to watch the stream. Facebook.com/thefanupstate, Twitter.com/thefanupstate, Twitch search The Rob Brown Show, YouTube, search The Fan Upstate, because you're going to get elements, visual components to the show that you're not going to get anywhere else. Like this fantastic piece of work that is Quinn Ewers, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo, that is flow, dude.
Absolutely. Perfectly acceptable in Lawrence and Pickens County also.
He's got the chin beard with no stash, sideburns that just keep going underneath the chin. That if I covered that guy's number, right? If I covered that guy's number and showed him to like 100 college football fans, how many people believe for a second that's a starting quarterback at a major blue blood university?
All right.
0 of them.
So what's his out of equipment gear? Is the half shirt, cut off jeans,
cowboy boots with jorts, American flag pullover shirt with the sleeves cut off,
jamming to some country music,
matching bandana, and 100% that's the guy screaming "Free Bird" at you from the back of the bar.
Also has a large collection of koozies.
All right, for the record, I'm a big koozie guy. All right, big koozie guy over here. When I moved in with the fiance, the first thing she said, she's like, "Why do you have this many koozies? Why not? Why not?" Some people collect tennis shoes. Some people collect hats. I collect koozies.
Yeah, but you also collect hats. So
collect hats.
Yeah, I mean, koozies, I've never understood. Why?
I don't know. Well,
I mean, I know what the purpose of them are, but seems like a lot of effort. By the time you get the thing on the can, you probably drank what's in it, or could have.
I hear that a lot from the bros. Bro, I drink my beer before it gets cold, before it gets warm, dude. Like, all right, that's fine.
So the koozies are some sort of insulation that's supposed to keep the drink
because your hand
cold.
is warm, and if you hold the can, it warms the drink.
You know what? When you get older, you don't have to worry about that.
Dude, you're telling me now.
Hands are not that warm anymore.
Okay, I was gonna say. You're telling me you finish every Dr. Pepper before it gets warm?
No, I'm just saying my hands are not toasty anymore.
Fair enough. All right. If you're not watching the stream, I don't know what to tell you. You just missed out on just an absolute beast of a human being.
You're right. You're right, Kevin. You should hear him talk. So, I mean,
we're going to run on down there, throw the band in on the touchdown Longhorns.
There you go.
It's like Coach O with twang. Quinn Ewers is very interesting. He was a top 10 projected pick when last season ended. He stays there now. Now, I will say, I do have some concerns. Quinn Ewers completed just 58% of his pass attempts last year. He had only 2 touchdown passes in his final 4 games of the season. But he is getting a lot of credit. Rittenberg quotes, a Big 12 defensive coordinator is saying, quote, "You can see the talent, and I hear that he's changed. I don't think he's where those other 3," talking about the other 3 big quarterbacks in the Big 12, Daniels, Howard, and Gabriel, we'll come to them later, are yet. Could he be? Yes, he's got talent, and he's got a hose, but you'd have to project that one. I'm interested in this guy. Now, I'd like to point out that last year, Texas had a crap run game last year. You could play Texas with 6 in the box and be just fine. Every play, right? They could come out in a jumbo set, and you could stack 6 in the box against Texas and be just fine. Question mark for me for Quinn is going to be, is the run game better this year? If the run game is better this year and it opens the field up, Quinn Ewers is going to go from completing 58% to 68%. He's going to go from throwing 2 TDs in his last 4 to throwing 4 TDs every 2. I'm interested in Quinn Ewers, but I would not throw Heisman money at him right now. And I would not throw Heisman money at him right now because I don't know if Texas can run the ball. They should have an offensive line. They got them corn-fed Texas boys. But they had them last year too. Still couldn't run the ball. Will they be able to this year? 4th on this list, tied with Quinn Ewers at 12-1 odds, is Jordan Travis, a guy that I have bought into this year, a guy that I'm on board with, but that is not consensus. Last year, Jordan Travis took a big step forward. 3,214 yards, 24 touchdowns to 5 picks, 417 rushing yards, 7 ground TDs for Jordan Travis. He joined Heisman Trophy winners Charlie Ward, Chris Weinke, and Jameis Winston as the only FSU players to record 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in a single season. There are 4. The first 3 all won Heismans. Will Jordan Travis join that group? We'll see. Rittenberg says that DCs across the ACC are kind of split on the guy. He quoted one ACC defensive coordinator as saying, quote, he's not as good as all the hype he's getting. I don't think he's even close to being the best quarterback in this league. I actually don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with that because I'm taking a flyer on a guy who's 18-1 out of the ACC. I'll tell you who it is coming up here in just a minute. Jordan Travis, 12-1, and that brings us now to Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik is right there in that mix. He is 14-1. I don't know why I said 14. That's not how that word works. It's 14.
Doing my Cade exercise.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You good over there?
It helps with the lower back. You get a little stretch out of there.
Okay. Just making sure. No, you can leave it up. I'm just going to mute this computer. I might need it back here in just a minute, but I'll mute it on this end.
Okay, that was the reason why I asked. Yeah.
Look, the jury is absolutely out on Cade Klubnik. I respectfully am not falling for the Clemson fans who are trying to sell me that Cade is the next All-American. Why? Because you guys were the exact same ones that were telling me last year DJ was the next All-American. Now, respect to DJ Uiagalelei. I like the guy. All right? I'm pulling for the guy. I am. I hope he does well at Oklahoma State.
But you understand
Oregon State.
Yeah, wherever he went. You understand the mentality that the next guy is our guy because he plays for our team.
I mean, for the record, they did have a pretty good run of the next guy being the guy back to back to back to back.
They did.
To back.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, it is fair to have gotten to a point.
And
where
DJ wasn't as bad as they say he was because they still won a ton of games.
He wasn't good. He just wasn't good.
If he was as bad, come on. So they had 0 winning seasons when he was a starting quarterback.
Winning season is not the goal.
I think you got to be better than good to win as many games, even in the ACC, as he did.
I will make that. We were having this conversation yesterday at the baseball game. Me and the seductive voice of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, Mark Shelley. We're talking about Giancarlo Stanton, right? Because that dude's making like $72 million a year. And Stanton's a guy that like he's either going to put it 585 yards outside of Yankee Stadium or he's going to get a K. Either way. And he's like, oh, I can't put him up over Jeter and A-Rod. I'm like, dude, if you're comparing players to Jeter and A-Rod, you know who's going to fail? 99% of players, right? If you're comparing college football quarterbacks to Trevor Lawrence, 99% of them are going to fail. 99%. So, yes, if you are saying we need to judge DJ alongside Kelly and Deshaun and Trevor, yeah, he and 99% of quarterbacks are going to look real bad in that comparison.
But if you look in the history of Clemson, he was better than quite a few of the quarterbacks that they've had in the last couple of decades. So, but because of Deshaun and because
Kelly,
you keep throwing Kelly in there, man, just leave him out. It's all about Deshaun and it's about Trevor Lawrence. It's about those two right there. You take those two out of there, and he's right up there near the top with a lot of the quarterbacks that they've had in the history of that team.
That's fair. I mean, I'll disagree respectfully, but it's fair. Here's what I'll say. The same people who tried to tell me that DJ was, how about, I'll put it this way, that DJ was a bona fide Heisman threat, was a bona fide first team All-American. We can agree he was neither of those things.
Well, when he first came in, he was highly touted, and they just had a couple of those. So why would they not think that coaching staff would bring in the next one?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. That is my argument. But my argument is the same people who believe that DJ was the next guy are now going, Rob, Cade's the guy. Cade's the guy. He's the guy. I can't believe you till I see it. Now, I'm not saying he's not the guy.
I could look it up, but did DJ have a better record than Taj Boyd? And Taj Boyd is people really loved him and thought he was great. And
So
they
this
forgot
is-
all about him when Deshaun came in.
This is one of those times, right? Like I have argued for many years that wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. They get hung on quarterbacks all the time, but they're not a quarterback stat. We're just going to ignore there's 21 other guys out there, right? It is not a quarterback stat. Now, you can attribute some of them to a quarterback, but wins and losses are not a QB stat.
I
and I'm
get
gonna
that it
stick with
shouldn't
that
be.
here.
I get that it shouldn't be, but I believe that the perception is that it is.
Perception can be whatever the hell it wants. That doesn't make it true. Public perception does not make a thing true. Wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. Wins and losses are a team stat. Completion percentage is a quarterback stat. Touchdown to interception ratio is a quarterback stat. Rushing yards is a quarterback stat. Right? So I'm not going to sit here and go, well, DJ had this record and Kelly had this record. So that's not what makes a quarterback good. Give me numbers. Completion percentage.
No offense to
QBR.
Kelly, but I just don't get why you keep throwing him in there.
At this point, because it makes you roll your eyes every time.
It
And
does.
that's just-
It absolutely
That's
does.
just how our relationship works.
It is.
Cade Klubnik checking in at 14-1. I cannot give you a true gauge on that. I'm not putting money on Cade Klubnik. And that is not to say Cade won't be in New York at the end of the year. And that's not to say Cade Klubnik will be in New York at the end of the year. I don't know. The jury is very much out on this guy. Jordan Travis, we know. Jaden Daniels, we know. Quinn Ewers, we know. Caleb Williams, we know. We don't know Cade. I know he's got some PT. But as Lonzo loves to point out, a solid chunk of that PT was being a handoff machine with a couple of passes here and there. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad Dabo slowly worked him into the game instead of throwing him to the Wolves.
I've got sources that say they're going to add the pop pass, so it will make it look like that he's throwing the ball a lot. No, the pop pass is basically it's basically
it's a toss.
It's a toss.
Yeah.
But they consider that's counted in passing stats. So to make it look like he's throwing the ball more, they're going to add the pop pass.
Okay.
Remember, you heard it here first.
I'm looking forward to it. And then after Cade Klubnik, who again, I can give you a breakdown of what we've seen out of Cade. I can give you a breakdown on what we've seen in practices so far, what we saw in the spring camp so far. I gotta see homeboy get out there and do it as the number one starter with nobody breathing down his neck. Then we'll make a judgment. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the next round of quarterbacks. Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Sam Hartman, Drake May, Bo Nix, Carson Beck, and, of course, Spencer Rattler. What are SEC coordinators saying about Spence? We'll tell you that when we come back. Rob Alonzo and you, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. Hashtag sources. Always good to have hashtag sources, boys.
Loving the opinions about Cade and this stuff. That's cool. He probably doesn't think so. You know, you say these things in a market, not realizing that, you know, those people could be listening, but that's fine. If he were sitting right over there, I would ask him about the art of handing the ball off.
I mean, we had him on the show, and I told him he had golden retriever puppy energy.
You did. You said that. I hope Mark Ryan nearly passed out when you said that, but still. Don't tell me one way or the other, because I'm going to believe that happened, that he nearly fell out of his chair. How dare you ask those hard-hitting questions, Rob? Those are the kind of questions that win you trophies.
Carolina dropped its preseason opener 27-0 to the Jets.
That was more than a drop there, buddy.
Buddy.
It's just preseason. What is worse is the Jets opened last preseason with a win against the Eagles. Philadelphia won the NFC. New York missed the playoffs, finishing 7-10. So While there are things to clean up, Panthers head coach Frank Reich cautions against overreaction.
We're trying to keep it simple so players can play fast. We can evaluate one-on-one play, and that's part of preseason play. And I give the Jets credit. You know, they played well and they played hard. We did not do as well as we could do. But, you know, I've also seen this rodeo before. And
I done seen this rodeo before.
I'm confident the direction we're going, and I'm not worried or concerned. Is there a sense of urgency to correct the mistakes from today? Absolutely, we correct the mistakes from today. But I'm not panicking even in the slightest.
Are all rodeos the same? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a rodeo. I'm guessing it wouldn't be. Different bulls in different towns, right? I don't know.
No, a lot of them have like training groups that bring the bulls around, and then you do a random draw.
Well, bettors think they're lucky stars. The Giants did get another bat because San Francisco has gone under the total in 17 of their last 23 games. The Giants have good pitching and mediocre hitting, which is a perfect recipe for the under. So watch San Francisco totals going forward. I'm just a prick. Helping you.
Wow, I decided to park a little bit further out, and the ground screws here. Awesome.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will
MV Peterman.
the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation.
Why does Frank Reich have a southern draw from New York? Same reason Brian Kelly's got a family.
Exists to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to
You live in the South for a while, you start picking it up. Can't help it.
They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171.
I'm sure Ed Orgeron used to sound just like Kelly when he first started.
Here's our interview from Coach O from 1984. Good evening, gentlemen. It's wonderful to see you all. We have a fantasy football league where the stats are reversed and mistakes count for points. Nate Peterson was the MVP that year. MV Peterman. MV Peterman.
Let them tell you steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice right now and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Rob Brown. Listen, QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural advanced regenerative medicines, and they're helping people here every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damage.
Oh no, I saw I got carried off on a cart, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything about how bad the injury is. You saw it, right?
I heard about it, but I haven't seen. Did they show the injury, or just are you saying did you see it and that he was hurt?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
they took him off on a cart, but I didn't see what it was.
See if there's any updates.
Sponsored by Corley Plumbing, Air and Electric.
At Corley Plumbing, Air and Electric, we offer flexible financing options with low monthly.
Frank Reich said he, quote, tweaked something in his back.
Me too. I got that getting out of bed this morning.
Yeah, it's a daily occurrence for me at this point.
I hear your criticism, and I will try to remedy that. But Rob does the Hogan Brothers so well that there's no sense, it's like he's in the room if I close my eyes.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. Rob Brown, the great with Lonzo, the Sultan of Swag, the Wizard of Wave, the Professor of Perfection, the Content Cash Cow, the Sheriff of Sports Talk.
Lonzo is a superstar.
Y'all. Let's keep going. We have been taking a look up and down the college football quarterbacks in relation to their Heisman Trophy odds. Just giving some thoughts on each, as well as taking a look at this post that Adam Rittenberg from ESPN put up, where he went and collected some quotes from different DCs and whatnot about who goes where. Now, I'm not gonna go through every one of them because I don't think you guys particularly care about the breakdown of Michael Penix Jr. at Washington, do you? Probably not, unless Washington shows up, which, by the way,
is that Washington, D.C. or Washington, the state?
That's the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you pointing up?
It's a map.
Oh, okay. All right.
DC,
all right.
Florida, California,
Didn't realize you at one point were a weather person, so you know how to do that.
I am not a mineralologist. I got in trouble one time at an old station many moons ago. I got in trouble because this was like my first year in radio, right? I was in like 2 months, and I got moved to produce the morning show. And part of the responsibilities for that, Zoe, where I had to come in early and I had to do a 60-second news track. I had to do traffic every quarter hour, and I had to put the weather in. And much like the station here, we got our weather sent over by the local TV station. Well, I went in one morning, and the TV station had not sent us the weather clip. And I called over there.
Yeah, I've had some dealings with that before, yes.
Yeah, they hadn't sent us the weather clip, and I called over there, and nobody answered the phone. So I'm like, well, I guess I just got to do it myself. So I cut a weather track, right? And I called myself in it, meteorologist Rob Brown. Turns out that's like a real thing you have to have a degree to call yourself. It's like calling yourself doctor, right?
Man, that's two. That's a one per day.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
bad average.
Like
a pitch clock violation in radio.
I'm on the decline.
I got a very heated phone call from a local meteorologist that day. That guy's like, "You did not go to school for this." I did. You did not put yourself through hell like I did for this. I'm like, you put yourself through hell? Really? Really? Like, I know it's a tough job. I'm not saying it's not, but like,
how much does a weather guy make? Was it worth it?
To be wrong half the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need a job with a 50% screw up error.
Yeah, but the local news people giving you weather, they're never on time. I don't care what city it is. And the people I dealt with are no longer here because this was a long time ago. Some potty mouths on them girls. I was like, what? What'd you just say? I just want the weather. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, ma'am.
J.J. McCarthy is listed as 18-1. He is the quarterback at the University of Michigan.
Whatever.
J.J. McCarthy came in and took over as QB1 last season. Last year, of course, the Wolvies were a very run-heavy offense until J.J. McCarthy got comfortable. They opened up the pass game much later. Now, keep in mind this year, we thought Jim Harbaugh was going to be sitting out the first 4 games of the season. Now it looks like he will not. We very briefly touched on that yesterday. We may get into more detail once we learn some more details, because we just don't have them yet. But what is J.J. McCarthy? What is J.J. McCarthy?
A human being, I think.
Thank you, Lonzo. 2,719 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, decent numbers on the ground last year. But last year, and I think this is what makes Michigan very interesting to me, I would go all the way from start to finish. You know what? I have to interrupt because a texter sent a great dad joke, and I will always derail the show. He said, Rob, you misunderstood. He said he put himself through hail.
Wow, I wish I had the applause button up. I'm sorry. I'm a little slow on the draw here, but well done.
Excellent work, Texter. Excellent work. Here's what intrigues me about the Michigan Wolverines behind J.J. McCarthy. Last year, up until the last couple of games, and I would even argue through the last couple of games, Michigan ran one of the most simplistic games of any team in college football. That's not bad because it worked. It worked. They had a very simple yet well-organized and executed game plan.
You're killing me because that means, Ohio State lost to a simple game plan. It's like, maybe when you're used to higher math and then someone brings something lower in, you haven't dealt with it for so long. Maybe that's what it was.
Let me go through another little analogy here. I'm a big analogy guy. If I go into a bar at night, Zoe, and
why do all your analogies at the bar? Why is that?
It's analogies come from the place that you most understand.
Okay, all right. So why do you expect me to understand the analogies that start?
All right. If I walk into any nondescript building of your choice, and for whatever reason, I was to get into a fisticuffs, I was to get into a fight. If I walk in, Lonzo, and I get into the fight, and I go like full Anderson Silva, Muay Thai, right? Quick strikes, takedowns, arm bar. If I go list of Jericho, the 1,001 holds, and I get him and I win the fight, right? I won the fight. If I walk into any nondescript location of your choice and get into a fight for the reason of your choice, and the guy goes and I swing and with one punch hit him on the button and put him to sleep, I also won the fight. The results are the same.
All right. Let me counter your analogy with an analogy. You just lost to the backwoods. How's that feel?
Rolling on the backwoods.
Yeah, we're not talking about the same thing.
What do you mean I lost to the backwoods?
New Day.
Oh,
Xavier Woods.
Dude, at the end of the day, oh, got you now. If I lose to a small package roll up,
yeah,
or I lose to a deep six, at the end of the day, what's the result of that? And now, put yourself in the shoes of the wrestler, of the victor of said fight. Do you care if you win by a knockout or a submission or a jiu-jitsu or just a one-punch sleeper?
Depends.
You don't care. You won.
I disagree. If you really hate the guy, you want to make him quit.
No, I want to win. There is no prize.
I want him to suffer.
There is no prize better than the dub. Okay, because that's what gets memorialized.
Listen, I know recently we won this major award, and it felt really good. Okay, and if we won that award by taking down every other sports show in South Carolina, I would like to think that we put them all in a scorpion deathlock. Not that we just barely got by them. I would like to think that they all said, "No mas, I quit. You win." That's what I would. That's my mentality in winning.
I just want trophy. We won.
Okay.
That's all I care about.
All right. By the way, we are the best sports show in the state of South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah. So there's that.
So that being said, blah blah blah. The Michigan Wolverines ran a very simple offense last year, and they ran a simple offense because they could and it worked. That is why Michigan, to me, is a very much favorite to go back to the playoffs this year, because last year they ran a very simplistic, pro style, run heavy, don't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback style system, and it worked. And they can do that again and then add on to it if necessary. McCarthy had 5 picks in 322 attempts last year. Now, a couple of them came in some real big spots, like 2 pick sixes to TCU in the semifinal. But when he wasn't tossing picks, J.J. McCarthy fit in just fine. I like this Michigan team this year. This Michigan team is going to be very interesting. Let's move down the list. We had a texter earlier. Said, Rob, Sam Hartman, Notre Dame dark horse for the Heisman. Mark my words. I don't have to mark your words, texter, because I agree with your words. I've been saying that. When that kid transferred from Wake to Notre Dame, that day I went, this man is now a Heisman contender. He is checking it at 18-1. Same odds as J.J. McCarthy, same odds as Drake May. I think of those three, Sam Hartman might have the best chance to sneak into New York. Hartman's production had a ridiculous number behind it at Wake Forest. An ACC record 110 touchdown passes, 21 career 300-yard passing performances, a career passing yard total in the ACC of 12,967 yards. And the fun part about this guy, if you go back and read or talk to anybody from Wake, they are all talking about the fact that this dude is a dude that galvanizes your team. This is the type of dude that your players, your offense buys into 110%. I like this guy. Rittenberg quotes a Power 5 coach as saying, quote, Hartman gets all his yards in the RPOs. I can't see Notre Dame running a bunch of RPOs. Maybe they're going to try and blend it in, but Wake, Dave Clawson, is the guru of that. Hartman can't drop back and throw it. He can RPO you and run into the line of scrimmage with the ball in the running back stomach and come out and pop you. That's easy stuff, but that's not dropping back like Tom Brady. Y'all, I'm not freaking out about that, man. I'm not freaking out about that. The reason that Sam Hartman ran so many RPOs at Wake Forest is because that's Dave Clawson's whole offense. Do you know what other quarterback would have ran a bunch of RPOs at Wake Forest? All of them. Because that's Wake Forest offense. I go back and look at the games Wake Forest won, including beating Jordan Travis and the Knowles down in Tallahassee last year. You know how they beat Florida State? They RPO'd him to death. It was unending. The reason the RPR worked is because they were afraid of the P, which is a sentence I wish I wouldn't have said out loud, but it's hilarious and I'm leaving it. It only works if they're afraid of the P. You got to make them afraid of the P. All right?
Yeah, you're owning it now, so I won't use it.
Just lean into it.
You know I won't use it when you own it.
The run pass option only works if they're afraid of the pass. The Dave Clawson offenses make them afraid of the P. If they're not afraid of the P, they're not afraid of the O. And the last thing you want to do is get P'd-o'd. I'm just giving you material right now. I'm just throwing red meat at Lonzo. I think Sam Hartman is going to be ridiculous at Notre Dame. I really do. He's got better weapons. He's got a better line. The only question I have is coaching. Dave Clawson knew how to work Sam Hartman's game in his offense. Does Freeman? I don't know. We're going to find out.
I don't know how to spell P-o'd. So I just put P and then O-W-E-D.
P.O. apostrophe D?
I don't know.
P-O apostrophe D?
That's P-o'd.
I don't know. I've never thought about writing it down. All right. Let's keep going down. Because there are some more guys I'd like to get into. I'd like to get into Drake May at some point. I've done a lot. Big guy, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Drake May is going to be the best quarterback in the ACC this year if it's not Jordan Travis. It's one of those two guys. And I'm actually more confident in Drake May than Jordan Travis, as confident as I am in Jordan Travis. Drake May is 18-1, same as Sam Hartman. Behind him, Bo Nix out at Oregon. Carson Beck taking over at Georgia. Gotta love the guy who's getting his first nod after taking over for the mailman, and he's 20-1. But let's get to the guy you guys have been asking about, and that, of course, is 50-1 Spencer Rattler. Let's take a break. When we come back, I'm going to give you Spencer Rattler's takes as far as coaches in the SEC via Adam Rittenberg. We'll break Spence down and where he fits into all of this next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Got to make them afraid of the P. If they're not afraid of the P, what are you doing?
I tried to look up P-o'd, tried a bunch of different things, but not fun.
Saturday's 27-0 preseason opening loss against the Jets. This week, the Panthers are on the road at New York. They'll face the Giants this Friday.
All right, guys, 30 seconds. Be right back.
On Monday,
These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep
Soundboard will be at max capacity. It's not even close. I don't even have the first panel filled up yet.
Neither do I. I'm not even halfway done. It's a big page.
They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion
And we can add pages. That starts getting
Yep.
complicated. I wish I could change colors on each button. But it looks like you can only change colors for overall.
Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Golfers, summer is here, and there's no better way to get on the course than with the Upstate Golf Card. For just $99, you'll get access to premier.
That's not going on the
courses
soundboard.
like the Preserve at Verdun,
That's going to be a
Club
promo.
Brookstone,
So.
Carolina Springs, Greer Golf, Links of Tryon, and more.
Which is what you did on purpose to make me do that. It worked.
Get yours now while supplies last. UpstateGolfCard.com. That's UpstateGolfCard.com.
The PvP, Voices of Baseball, is a podcast about the art and craft of play-by-play, and we're in the middle of an amazing season. Catch up on episodes with Joe Buck, Joe Davis, Pat Hughes, and more, and learn along with me, Matt Spiegel, how the job is done.
It's not just home run Bryce Harper in the Phillies league. To really do
You see Garrett Wilson with the bucket hat and sunglasses on during the interview?
Sean Payton is livid right now. Livid.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra. The same active.
I don't know if I wore the wrong shirt Thursday if I get sent home.
Less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed.
I honestly feel like we should just wear the Star Wars outfits.
Yeah, I don't think that will go.
Just be ridiculous for no reason.
If you've seen the follow-up email, they were specific about, or Mark was specific about where. Station stuff.
FORHINS.com/JOY.
I don't know about whose power level, but I will say that mine is
5,000.
Is Ultra Instinct power level. So you have to watch Super to know what that is. Which I know Rob hasn't watched Super. So.
Correct.
You should though, because it's good.
Please be sure to wear station gear. Okay. I'll wear my white polo under the red jacket. It'll work just fine.
Well, I ruined it because I said, yeah, but I work for two stations, and he told me which one to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other ones fit better. No.
Really?
Yes.
I guess they are the big stick. Need all the.
No. I had to wear this one.
Oh, I thought, no, that's what I was saying. Are you wearing.
You were pointing down. I thought you were pointing at
here.
Steve.
This is here.
Okay, I thought you were pointing.
No,
I thought you were pointing at Steve, who's like right down here.
All right, let's talk, ladies and gentlemen, about Spencer Rattler. We have worked our way through the list of Heisman candidate quarterbacks thus far. We find ourselves now with a young man currently sitting on odds that bring him at 50-1. Spencer Rattler, 50-1. He is behind Connor Wegman, Devin Brown, Dylan Gabriel, Blake Corum, Joe Milton III at Tennessee, who has twice as short odds as Spencer Rattler. All right, in regular people talk, half.
Thank you for looking at me when you said regular people.
Well, because
I appreciate
I was
that.
waiting for you to acknowledge that I said a dumb thing again.
No, I would never.
I do frequently.
I would never on purpose say that you said a dumb thing.
Spencer Rattler, 50-1 odds, down there with KJ Jefferson, Travion Henderson, and others. Spencer Rattler, obviously, last year had a shaky start to the season. In fact, about 2 months worth of shaky start to the season. And then it turned around. In his final 3 games, Spencer Rattler racked up 1,044 yards and 10 touchdowns in his final 3 games. That was the Spencer Rattler they expected at Oklahoma. That was the Spencer Rattler Shane Beamer expected when he brought him to Columbia. Adam Rittenberg quoted an SEC defensive coordinator as saying, quote, if he's on, he can be a really good player, but when he's off, man, he can be off. If he can find consistency, he can start to tap into the buzz he generated at Oklahoma. He's got sufficient arm talent. He can make the throws, but his decision-making can really struggle. His performance had been a little volatile, but as the year went on, he settled in. I was impressed with his athleticism, his arm, his ability to move, and how he facilitated things. Another SEC defensive coordinator said, quote, he's ultra talented. I just didn't think he really saw the field pre-snap or post-snap really well. I felt the game was moving very quick for him, but when you look at what they did to Clemson and Tennessee, maybe it did slow down. Give you my thoughts on what happened. Based on some of the video clips we saw from him coming out of high school, his first year at Oklahoma, etc., Spence genuinely struck me as being a guy who just thought he was going to show up and do it, right? It is something that I've said at this point, I hope is true for DJ Uiagalelei, right? I have not been shy about blaming Big Dave for DJ's problems. Big Dave went with the Ball family strategy of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to monetize my kid. I'm going to monetize my kid's brand. I'm going to convince my kid that he's the man before he even straps on the hardware. And I think DJ, when he got to Clemson, kind of had this mentality of Clemson cranks out good quarterbacks. I'm next, right? I'm next. I'm going to follow in the footsteps of Taj, Kelly, Deshaun, Trevor, Alonzo, and I'm just going to be next. I'm going to be the guy. And I think that he was in over his head. I don't think he actually ever really got prepared for the pressure that comes along with being QB at Clemson. I think Spencer Rattler was kind of the same mold. I think Spence thought because of highly talented of a recruiter was, this is the danger you face in the world of college football recruiting. To make this kid pick your school over the other schools, you got to make him feel like a damn rock star, right? You got to make him feel like the most important person on planet Earth. The problem, the risk you run is that they show up believing they are the man. You spend 2 years telling them, you're the man now, dog. Then they show up and they're like, I'm the man now, dog. I think Spence had that. I think Spence had that at South Carolina. When he got picked up, you guys were blowing our station lines up talking about how excited you were. I think he bought into that. And I think he got it handed to him for 2 months. And then I think he went, I got to settle down. I got to learn to play quarterback. And I think he did. I think Spence is going to be good this year. Do I think he's going to be in New York at the end of the year? No. But do I think he has slowed the game down, learned the game? Do I think he will carry momentum from last year into this year? I absolutely do. Let's talk about this Michael Orr stuff when we come back, because it's ridiculous on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. The Jets signed running back Dalvin Cook as an insurance policy for Breece Hall. And today the team activated Hall off the physically unable to perform list following last season's ACL and meniscus tear. Cook got a one-year deal from Gangrene yesterday worth $7 million, an extra $1.6 in incentives. Ezekiel Elliott got less from the Patriots, but he can still max out his 1 year with the Patriots at $6 million. And Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin got a nice bump, receiving a 2-year rework deal with $36 million guaranteed, which will make him the third highest paid interior lineman in the league in AAV. Baseball, the league is looking into Wander Franco's alleged relationship with a 14-year-old girl on Sunday's social media posts.
Gross.
She's on the Rays restricted list and isn't with them on this road trip as authorities in the Dominican Republic also launch an investigation. And in the last hour, a federal appeals court in New York refused to revive longtime ump Angel Hernandez's lawsuit accusing Major League Baseball of racial discrimination. His arguments that the league's promotion practices, including its failure to promote him to crew chief, reflected unfair treatment of minorities. I'm Greg Conservative.
Nope, turns out, Angel Hernandez, you're just really damn bad at your job. My favorite thing about that story is that Angel Hernandez at one point brought up a claim of discrimination because he was not getting picked to work World Series games. And he said, you guys are not hiring Latino umpires to do the World Series. And in court, MLB came back with a list of all the Latino umpires that had worked World Series, and it was extensive. And they were like, really? Because and that case got dismissed really quickly. However, it doesn't look great that your argument in court is, no, you're just bad at your job, and he's still doing his job for you.
Steven, he ain't going to Costco today. He going to bed.
Correct. You can grab a rotisserie chicken, $8 bottle. Dude, I told you the other day, man. I am genuinely impressed with the Costco wine selection. I kind of expected, like, not much, to be honest with you. And when we were the other day, I told Courtney, I was like, dadgum, this place has got a pretty good selection.
Did you actually say dadgum?
Yeah, do you not say dadgum?
Only when my turrets act up. I just didn't know if that was a Florida thing, you know.
Dadgum.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
QC in the first break.
10-4. Do I want to suck it up and go to that show tonight?
If you go home and go to sleep, you'll have plenty of rest. Won't be nearly the drive you had last night after you leave.
I texted Courtney earlier, and she's like, so you got home at 1 o'clock this morning from a 2.5-hour road trip there and 2.5-hour road trip back to watch a baseball game, and you want to turn around and go back out tonight. Yeah, sublime. I do.
Are you just pushing it to rail against your age and how you feel?
No, I just really like Sublime. And like live music is easy to me. Like I don't get worn out by live music. Even if it's like Cowboy Mouth. I am front and center going ham at Cowboy Mouth shows. And I like when I leave a Cowboy Mouth show, I'm like, I'm alive. Live music makes me feel alive.
I've heard enough about Cowboy Mouth from you and Chris that, I mean, yeah, I know.
We got to get you a show.
Nah,
You'll love it.
I don't know. I don't think you could get me caught up the way you guys are caught up in that. It's fun to watch the fandom though, but
that in and of itself. The people watching the Cowboy Mouth show is excellent.
No, I was talking about you and Chris, how you rave about that. That's not a bad thing. You guys are into it. I don't like people, and you know that. So me being around a bunch of people never goes well. By the way, I do love people. I'm just extremely awkward, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to say, and I'm almost 55, and it's not going to get better. Maybe hypnotist. Maybe I get a hypnotist. Can you turn my introvert self into an extrovert self? Yeah, I know I dressed as a cowboy, but still.
The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now, ladies and gentlemen. This. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to see if you still had it in you for today.
I got to tell you, there's days like today.
Was it worth it?
That I look at the man in the mirror and I say, son, you still got it.
Oh, I thought you were going to start singing some Michael Jackson.
I look at the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah, I'm asking. Okay. Listen, I still got it, man. I still got it. Not only do I still got it, thank you very much. Not only do I still got it, but I hit the Bravos game against the NYY last night in the ATL at Truist. Got home at 1:30, out at 2. Woke up this morning, getting ready. Asked the fiance, hey, do you have any interest in going to see Sublime tonight? She's like, let me get this right. You got home at 2 a.m. You got up at 5:30 a.m. You're running on 3 hours, like maybe 3 hours of sleep, including the dog moving around and waking us up at night. And you want to turn around and go back out tonight?
Nope.
Yup.
Nope.
Yup.
Nope.
Yeah. Sublime, homie. Of course I do. I still got it, man. I'm young. Now, probably on Thursday, I'm going to be like, going around
Thursday? So I was thinking Wednesday. I mean,
Wednesday, I'll just be on pure adrenaline.
Yeah, you do realize tomorrow's Wednesday. It's not Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Tomorrow's going to be an adrenaline day. Thursday is going to be, how do I
No. Thursday, you need to be a little more together.
Oh, that's right. We got a thing.
Because we got a thing.
Taking us in public.
We got a thing where we have to woo.
Oh.
You and I and others have to woo. And to woo, you need to be that. To woo, you got to be on your game.
I'm always on my game. Always on my game. I don't come off my game. My whole life is the game. And it's time to play the game.
We should actually show up with the trophy and say, we don't even need to say anything.
Did you think for a second that's not what I was already planning on doing?
We don't even have to say anything.
For a second, do you think I'm not bringing that thing to just walk? By the way, when I say that thing, I mean both of them.
There you go. I mean, it's a selling point, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to be on the two-time South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the Year in the state of South Carolina? You don't? Okay. Your choice. I don't know why you wouldn't, but your choice, man.
Yeah, we're not going to hear that. We're going to hear that. Where do we sign up? That's what we're going to hear.
How about this Michael Orr story, dude? Is this not wild? Like, I know it's sports adjacent, which has become a very popular term on the show as of late.
My first thought is, why now? I mean, he just had a book come out, so that probably helps. But why now? How long has he been retired? Like 5 years? It may not be that long. It may only be a couple.
I think it's only been a couple. I get the impression, and again, I very much could be wrong about it, but I get the impression he just learned what actually happened, right? So if you haven't heard this story yet, retired NFL star Michael Orr. Of course, Michael Orr went to Ole Miss. He was the subject of what has over the last couple of years turned out to be a fraudulent, fictional retelling of his life story called The Blind Side, starring Sandra Bullock. Big fan, by the way.
And
Love
Tim McGraw. People forget that Tim McGraw was in that.
Yeah, anybody standing next to Sandra Bullock,
well, yeah,
very forgettable.
I know. I'm just saying. I didn't know he could act.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a pretty good movie.
So back in 2009, The Blind Side came out. The story of The Blind Side was about Michael Orr and his journey to playing football, and it portrayed him. Did you ever see that movie, by the way?
I just said I thought it was a really good movie.
Okay.
I mean, just like
I got caught up on the Tim McGraw, Sandra Bullock thing, and I didn't hear you say
it
that.
was like 20 seconds ago. I did say everybody heard me say it.
I believe you, just not me.
Just more proof of what I've been saying all along. But that's fine. I'm invisible, people. I just don't exist.
No, we were talking about Sandra Bullock, and I just started thinking about Sandra Bullock.
Yes,
Big fan,
I said I love the movie, and I also am a fan of Sandra Bullock. By the way, I'm not gonna act like I'm not.
What was that movie she did with Ryan Reynolds? The Proposal. Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I
Good
mean, after a certain point, like after Miss Congeniality 2, I think.
Which Miss Congeniality is just a banger of a movie as well. Just a banger of a movie, dude. It's great. Anyway, Sandra Bullock is the best. And she starred in this movie where she portrayed the lady, one half of a marriage, that adopted Michael Orr and taught him how to play football at Ole Miss. It was very amusing because it contained, Nick Saban and other SEC and ACC coaches portraying themselves during their recruitment of Michael Orr.
Nick Saban, what an actor, man. I love him in the Aflac commercials too.
We'd like for you to come to the University of Alabama. Play for me. It's a very exciting time in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We'd love for you to come play for us. Keegan just said Sandra Bullock is a poor man's Hillary Swank. Keegan, you've never been more wrong about anything in your life.
Yeah, come on, Keegan.
I will fight you on sight if you say anything that terrible ever again.
Come on.
That's awful.
Yeah, that hurt.
That's awful. That's just bad, dude. That's just Keegan, I love you like a brother. That's just a bad take.
You're an awesome guy, but don't do that again.
Yeah, that's a real bad take. So Michael Orr has taken the family, and I'm gonna air quote this real hard. The lady and guy that adopted him to court because Michael Orr is now claiming that they never actually adopted him. Instead, what they did was told him that they adopted him and got him to sign a conservatorship. A conservatorship is basically where the legal system grants someone full custodial rights over another person. This was the big thing that was going on with Britney Spears, right? Her dad had a conservatorship on her, and basically all of the ridiculous number of hits that Britney Spears put out, all that money went to her dad. Britney basically lived on whatever daddy let her have, and not in like a hot way, in a terrible way.
Okay, I would have worded that differently, but yeah, and we've seen since she's been free that she's been a fine, upstanding citizen who doesn't look like she needs, anyone helping her.
If Britt wants to throw on a bikini and pole dance on Instagram, it's her life. Now, I would absolutely say yes. Brittany probably needs somebody. But it's probably because she was allowed to become her mid-30s. Well, no, she's got to be in her 40s now, right? To reach close to 40 and never have control over her own life. She never learned how to be a grown-up. That is part of the problem. She's 41, by the way. She never learned to be a grown-up because her dad just did all the things, and not in a healthy way, not in a good parent kind of way. So Michael Orr is alleging that the man and wife who adopted him never actually adopted him. He filed a 14-page petition in Shelby County, Tennessee, that alleges that Sean and Leanne Tuohy, I am sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, Tuohy?
By the way, 41 is not a boomer. It's a Gen Xer.
I believe.
Actually, it might even be a millennial.
I actually believe it is. I believe it is an elder millennial. Filed a 14-page petition against the Tuohys. I'm going to go with Tuohy, Tuohy. Again, for the record, I never saw The Blind Side. And I didn't see The Blind Side when it came out for reasons. And then later on, like within a handful of months, when Michael Orr started getting asked about it, and he's like, yeah, that movie is not real.
See, I don't know obviously none of us know the entire situation, but what if that's the only way that they could take him in? I'm not saying that what if that was the only way? Did they benefit? Yeah, I'm sure they did. But what if that's the only way that they could help him?
The problem is they were, from what I understand, loaded when they took him in.
Did he have a bad life there?
I believe he did come from poverty.
Right. What I'm saying is
With them?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
But that's not what he's mad about. What he's upset about is the fact that they tricked him. His claim is they tricked him into signing a conservatorship that basically gave all of the profits of his life directly to them in perpetuity, which means all of the money that was made on the Blindside movie, the story about Michael Orr, all of that money went to them.
Did he have to give up his NFL money?
No.
Well, I thought the way that worked, it would be all income. I
don't know. I don't know the answers. These are good questions. I don't know the answers to all of them. What I do know is, according to the petition, they were offered $225,000 each to sign over the rights to this movie, to this story, plus 2.5% of the overall profit of the movie, which, if I recall correctly, made somewhere between $300 and $500 million, which means that they both individually stood to profit $7-ish million a piece off that movie, money that Michael Orr did not get a piece of.
By the way, I don't want it to sound like I'm just automatically picking a side. I don't think you can do that. I just have questions all the way around about the thing and knowing the entire story before you go, yeah, this one's right or this one's right.
That's fair. Also, since then, the Tuohys have been doing motivational speaking where they continue to this day to claim Michael Orr as their adopted son. They still to this day go out, get paid to give speeches about the story and the inspirational story, which again, turns out most of it was fake. And that's not new. Michael Orr has been telling people that this story took some ridiculous creative liberties with his story since the movie dropped.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but does it say based on a true on actual events?
Yes.
And if it does that, if it's based on it, they always take liberties with those things.
But they just made up a whole different story, is what Michael Orr said. Like, for instance, in the movie, he doesn't know anything about football, right? Like, that's the whole point of the movie, is Sandra Bullock utilizing like taking care of your family. Remember, like, he's your family. Would you ever let somebody come hit me? I need you to guard him with the same dedicated blah, 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 blah. And then Michael Orr came out and he's like, yo, I played ball before that. Like I played off. I was a good offensive lineman. I knew what I was doing. Like that didn't happen. Straight up, that didn't happen. But that's how they told the story, which basically is, and again, if he had no rights to the movie, he would have had no ability to change it. Again, some of this, I will acknowledge, some of this is speculation about this process. But if he had no rights to the movie, which he apparently did not, and then the movie made out him to be kind of how do I say this without getting myself in trouble? Let's just say a guy that had to learn everything about the game from his adopted mom, when he's going, no, that's not true. I
wonder how many premieres he went to when it came out.
I don't know.
Because if it's not real and you went to multiple premieres, you're condoning I mean, there's just a lot of things, little things that he could have done differently to protest the whole situation.
The biggest question for me is, when did he find out about this conservatorship, right? And even then, if he goes, I found out 5 years ago, but I did not want to deal with all this crap during my NFL career, I would fully understand him putting this off until he retired and got out of the game, right? Because this is a lot. This is going to be...
By the way, he retired in 2016.
2016, so it's been a while.
Yes.
All right. And again, I do not think, one thing I caution people about all the time, I'm very careful about going, well, why didn't you talk about this thing at time X? It's not up to them to live their life and make their decisions on your timeline. That's not how it works. I don't know why Michael Orr is just bringing this forward. I don't know if he just learned that it's a conservatorship, if he learned it a year ago, but I will tell you, as somebody who is very close to an attorney, I've been told multiple times, if you're going to bring a lawsuit to the table, you better make sure you have every single little piece of story and information and evidence. There better not be a question a judge, jury, or cross attorney can ask you that you can't A, answer, and B, answer in a way that helps your case. So I don't know.
By the way, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with all this coming out, his book was released on August 8th.
Michael Orr, by the way, according to the legal filing, Michael Orr discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Tuohy family, in fact, provided him no familial relationship with the Tuohys at all, end quote. And the family is not responding to questions. So he is claiming that he learned about this back in February of this year, which makes sense for him to take March, April, May, June, and July to put a 14-page legal filing together. I don't know. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't really have any deep connection or deep feelings to this. If they truly did take advantage of this guy, then I feel awful for him and they're bad people. If he is doing this for publicity for his book, I'm going to feel less bad about it, although he still has every right to write a book of how he got screwed over. Again, if this thing goes to court and he can prove that this is the case.
Will this or will this not more than likely make his book sales go up?
Sure.
It could be coincidence and it could not be.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a marketing tool.
For the record, to me, that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
But you're not acting on emotion like a lot of people do, and they go, you know what? That's just messed up. I'm gonna go out and buy his book. I want to help this guy out.
Again, if he listen, we let people in this country profit off of terrible things all the time, all the time, all the time. I don't care. It's irrelevant. If he was taken advantage of, and if these people took a kid with NFL future and tricked him into signing away millions upon millions of dollars to them, that's bad. And people like that should be punished harshly so that more people don't take advantage of similar situations down the line. Because this is not like a ridiculous, surreal thing. This could happen all the time. In fact, I have heard plenty of stories over the years of people who want to adopt kids, but they go and then when they go to get into the adoption process, they start looking for kids that they believe could be scholarships, right? And it's sick. It's gross. I hate it. So,
what if they're doing that because
the hammer should come down?
But what if they're doing that, what you just said, because they want to make sure the kid goes to college and they know they won't be able to afford to send them, so they're picking a kid that they know will be able to go.
Again, subjective morality is a thing, right?
I'm just throwing out a possibility.
Again,
that's
I get
all.
it. Subjective morality is a thing. Texter said, I remember hearing that he hated the blindside portrayal of him. Panthers came to Cribb's kitchen all the time. Yeah, he was not soft-spoken about him really disliking the portrayal of him in that movie. Like I said, that was one of the things that really kind of kicked this whole thing off. Michael Orr was like, yeah, they made me look like an idiot. I was not. They made me look like I didn't know what football was. I did. I was good. I knew what I was doing. Like, my recruitment was not the small miracle they portrayed it to be. They weren't just recruiting me because I was a big lineman. They were recruiting me because I was a good lineman. And in the movie, they made him look like a dunce, which again, I absolutely have a problem with if he was not on board with it.
By the way, they didn't make him look like a dunce in the movie. They did.
Well,
he was just a quiet, shy guy in the movie. So,
but the premise was Sandra Bullock's character taught him football, which is not what happened, according to Michael Orr. Texas said the family did respond partially. Yeah, I found it. Sean Tuohy is the guy. He said, quote, "We are devastated. It's upsetting to think we would make money off of any of our children, but we're going to love Michael at 37 just like we loved him at 16. Orr's petition asked the court to end the Tuohy's conservatorship and to issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness. It also seeks a full accounting of the money the Tuohy's earned using Orr's name and to have the couple pay him his fair share of the profits, as well as unspecified compensatory and punitive damages, end quote.
All right. According to TMZ Sports, right away they're inaccurate with their title because they say Twitter and it's not Twitter, it's X.
Yeah, it is. Type in twitter.com, see where you go.
Sandra Bullock to lose her blindside Oscar after the Orr drama.
I don't care about that.
So because the whole thing, you can't have your Oscar. Okay.
I don't care about that at all. I care about Michael Orr. I care about whether or not this claim is true and nothing else.
Maybe she'll be canceled if she doesn't give her Oscar back.
I don't think, honestly,
She's not working right now anyway, because none of them are. So, I mean, there's that.
I don't think anybody cares about any of that.
Except for Twitter.
TMZ.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Good job on calling it Twitter, by the way.
Well, I was quoting the article.
Anyway, let's go to the text line here. Texter said they lied about the score of the Clemson game in that movie. I didn't see it. Is that true? Do you know off the top of your head? Do you know?
You don't think that's funny?
I don't know.
You don't think that's? Yeah, I like that movie. They lie about the Clemson score and the kid. That didn't happen.
I mean, again,
dude, come on.
Kind of backs up the claim that they were making up stuff for drama.
Come on. I mean, what's that say about your fandom that you got to work? You know what? And let's talk about the Mud Dogs and the teams that they beat.
That time Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime
when they went to the national championship. It's a movie. It's not real. That's I don't know if you knew that.
Texas said you normally can't adopt an 18-year-old in most states, and conservatorship is sometimes done instead. I am a foster and adoptive parent. So I don't know. I am not an attorney. I was not adopted. I have never adopted. I don't know the process works. But here's all I'll say. If they told him you are being adopted and then got him to sign a conservatorship that gives them control over his life and his finances, at the end of the day, even if that is the process, it is still misleading and damaging if it's true.
I know how this is going to sound, but what if they just considered that rent?
Gross. 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 Let's see here. Texter said, Upstate, Rob, glad to hear that you are the voice of the Rebels again. You do a terrific job. I understand the game is this Saturday and will be aired on 97.1. Yes, indeed. Burns Rebels High School football coming up this Saturday. Pregame at 6:30. Kickoff at 7. You can hear that game on the Fan Upstate, 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM in Spartanburg. And again, that game is on Saturday. It is Saturday.
I think the boss sent that text because you haven't been pushing it enough. I think you should check the numbers later and see if it was him. I'm just curious. It would be hilarious. You do a great job on the Burns thing, but that was a well written with the exact.
It's not.
Okay, with the exact time and all that kind of stuff on it. I'm just saying.
It's not. But yes, thank you, Texter, who is definitely not my boss.
Yes, cannot wait for the first Burns game. Also, Saturday Morning Scramble comes back this Saturday with Cole Bryson
and Alex.
Yes. So high school football is back on the Fan Upstate starting this Saturday.
Live football Saturday.
And then it's Fridays after that.
Yeah.
But
it's week 0, and we don't care about tradition in week 0. We're just here to play ball.
Week 0. What's that mean?
Coming up on Saturday, Burns Rebels. High school. Touchdown, Rebels. Still got it. Feels good.
And Burns intercepts. Quarterback.
I feel like I felt that come out of my headphones. Gross.
You guys can all hate me for that.
I do just a little bit. All right. When we come back here in just a minute, we got a couple of stories left to run through. I cannot wait till Fight Club on Thursday for this Musk Elon BS. You know, the thing happening that I told you exactly how it was going to play out. Talk about that during Fight Club on Thursday. We got to talk some golf. We have not gotten to the NBA Hall of Fame inductions from this weekend. Lonzo's got to pee. We got to take a break on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
QC. No, we're just really late.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Got a live read. Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
not increasing the payout to Clemson and Florida State. And why add teams to the conference if there's just going to be more mouths to feed and less money for everybody else? I believe the ACC was hoping that ESPN would open up the coffers after that, but ESPN's business model isn't exactly glowing these days anyway. So there you have it, my friends. A signal more so than any other that Clemson and Florida State's days in the ACC are numbered. I'm Mark Ryan.
Both sides with Mark Ryan this afternoon, 3 to 7 on The Fan. Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and on the Odyssey app.
If you're hired, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at
If that's a home game at Dorman, you ain't getting up there where he is.
A lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco.
So a very nice press box. Although I hear the Gaffney press box, I never made it to the new reservation. I hear the Gaffney press box is really, really nice. And the new Spartanburg one too.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Yeah, but does that get you in the press box? No. That's cool though. That's a nice stadium. Remember when we first moved here, I thought it was college, like most people do. And telling Rob about it before he actually went over there for the first time. That gets you in the. What kind of pass is that to get you in there, Steven? You don't want to walk in the room while Rob's calling the game.
The one of the games last year, I don't remember which one. It was a home game for Burns. And I was setting up, and a guy that was calling the away team came over. And he's like, "Are you Rob?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Dude," he goes, "I listen to your show. If you are as loud as you are, or if you were as loud as everybody says you are, I don't know what I'm going to do." Because he was sitting like me to that chair. He was like 4 feet away. And we got to halftime. We took a halftime break. We both took our headsets off, and he looks and he's like, "You're louder than me on my broadcast." I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. He's like, "No, I'm not telling you to change anything." He's like, "That's why they hired you. I get it." He's like, "I'm just letting you know." I was like, "Well, appreciate the heads up. Not changing."
So that means you get to go up and eat the food, Steven. The food's pretty good too. It's been a while. I'm sure the food hasn't gotten worse. So at what point did you realize that you're loud?
I don't know. 17.
Is that when it all started? As soon as, the change? I got a question though. So before that change that we all go through, were you just as loud but with like a high pitched voice? Because I'm just it's making me smile for some reason. You're hitting Barry Gibb heights while you're yelling at people.
When did I realize I was loud? Well, I will tell you that my family reunion is unbearable for most people.
So is mine.
Yeah.
That's why you being loud doesn't bother me that much, because my family are really loud.
I am. So my dad, my brother, and I are like the quietest dudes in my family. All right. So just take that as you will. We got my Uncle John Hill, Michael Brown, Jerry.
You said John Hill, not Jonah Hill.
No, John. It's John L, but we call him John.
Oh, John L.
Because he raises John Hill.
Okay. All right.
Those are the 3 loudest people on the planet. I check at a distant fourth in the volume-o-meter to my uncles. My family reunion's a nightmare to anyone with hearing sensitivity. All right. It just is. When I left high school and I went to college, the first gig I did in college was writing for the school paper. after 2 years, when I got through my all my 101 and 201 level classes, right? Like you do your undergrad studies and then you pick a major. When I was getting to the end of my undergrad stuff and it was time to pick a major, the broadcast professor, like the guy who oversaw the communications department at my school, sought me out and was like, you need to do broadcast communications. I was going to do business up first. And then I realized, oh no, I hate numbers. That's probably bad. Then I was going to be a teacher. I was doing secondary education. I spent 3 days in a high school and realized if I can't fight these kids, I don't want to be here. Because they were terrible, dude. Terrible.
So we're learning some things about when certain biases came about. Okay.
First off, the very first thing that happened on my first day, they called it a practicum. Basically, they sent you to a local school and you got paired up with a teacher. And for one semester, you were effectively a TA. And then at the end of that semester, the teacher, like the last handful of days or a week or so, you would teach that class. The very first practicum I did was with my old basketball coach, Mark Tiza, who was teaching history and geography. And when I got there, he was like, Rob Brown, you would make an excellent teacher and coach. Don't do it. I was like, Coach T, like, why? I feel like I would, man. I feel like I'd be an awesome teacher and coach. He goes, you would be. Don't do it. Told me how miserable it was. And I thought, it's overblown. 3 days in, I'm walking the hallway, coming back from lunch, going back to the classroom. I take a pencil case to the back of the skull. A kid just chucked a pencil case at me, like a pencil box. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, was it a plastic one or a wooden one?
It was plastic.
Okay,
but it was thick.
Was it full of pencils?
Oh, yeah.
So there was a possibility of impalement.
Huge mess.
Okay, all right.
I mean, in the back of the skull. And I turned around to 3 dudes on the football team laughing. And one of them looks me dead in the face and goes, you can't touch me. And I was like, it's a good damn thing. You are correct. And you were like, I was still young. I still had it at this point. I was not the fat old guy that I am now. I was like, you're right. You're lucky. You're lucky. And I told him that. I'm like, you're right. And you are very lucky because I'd put you to sleep, son. My coach, my then practicum mentor, but my coach at the time, he's like, listen, you can't say that. I'm like, why? A kid needs to know. Like, he's going to get out in the real world and try to be that, and somebody's going to put him down. He's like, right, but you can't say it. That immediately was the day I was like, I'm out. Can't do it. So then the chair of the Department of Communications at the University of West Florida, who was a former Penn State baseball player, found me. Now, at this point, I was on the radio, but I was like brand new to the game. I had been in like a couple of months. I was like a low-level producer. He comes and finds me, and he's like, I want you to do communications. I want you to do broadcast communications. Why? He goes, radio. You need to be on the radio. He's like, you do a good job on the radio. You need to be in radio. You just have a commanding voice. And looking back at it now, what he meant is you're loud as hell and nobody else is. So anyway, jumped into that. And within like a month and a half, I was calling University of West Florida baseball. That was why he wanted me there. He was a former Penn State player, and he basically helped out with the baseball team. Like he wasn't on the coaching staff, but because he played baseball, he just liked being around baseball. So one of the first gigs I got, he put me in broadcast communications, and he put me on the UWF baseball broadcast. The year after that, they went on to win a national championship at the JUCO level. So it was pretty dope. It was the first championship team I ever called play-by-play for. It was a good run. Good run. So I would say third year of college, 2006, the point that a broadcast communications teacher came out and said, you're loud, you're hired. Take this major. And I did it. Here we are. A lot of years later. Worked out pretty good. Pretty good. Skrilla texted in and said, I think it's just dudes our age. We have to be loud for some reason. I've thought about this before.
That's not true. I mean, I'm older than you guys, and I'm not loud. I can be.
That's why you said dudes our age.
I can be just as loud as you if I want to be.
I have a theory about it because I really do think like just the acceptable volume level of people goes up as you get into younger and younger kids. And I think it is because the noise of the world is just increasing. And I'm not talking about like cars and traffic. I'm talking about if you go in public, take a look around. I was at the Braves game last night. Bottom three, Braves had the bases juiced. Getting into the heart of the lineup. I look around. There's like 65, 75 people in the section we're in. And I gotta say a solid 2/3 of them are like on the phone scrolling the gram. Like you paid money to come watch this baseball game. And you could have stayed home and scrolled the gram for free. What are you doing? I think because people are so distracted by so many things in their lives now that the only way to get noticed is to be obnoxious at this point, right? Zoe and I had a conversation last week about the fact that the reality is whether we like it or not, the currency that Lonzo and I and anybody in this profession deal with now, it's not ratings anymore, right? I mean, they matter. But ratings aren't what do it anymore. Views are. It's all about views. It's about views and clicks. Verifiable views and clicks, right? We get reports now at the end of every month that tell us how many podcast downloads we got. We get emails now from the boss checking in to see how many views our YouTube videos are getting, right? Views and clicks are the currency of this industry now.
Tell a friend, by the way.
Yeah, go download our stuff, please. It helps us dramatically. The point here is that kind of is just the world now. And if you want to be noticed, and we have created an atmosphere where people want to be noticed, right? I think it used to be you put your head down, you go to work, you do your thing, you go home, you be happy. And now it's like, I'm happy when I'm noticed. And don't get me wrong, I've made a career out of it. I'm not judging. That's what I get. I get paid. Somebody asked me, we were talking about the drive to the baseball game last night. We were like outside of the stadium getting ready to park. And me and Jack were running the music up front, and we were running through wrestling theme songs as our hype music because it was my car and my radio. And Jack and I are out the window, and every time a Braves fan walked by, we'd be like, yeah! One of the guys in the back is like, do you guys just have to seek attention all the time? Yeah. Literally, it's a career, right? It is absolutely a career. So
I'd be okay if I was unnoticed. I mean,
you would, but you're on the radio.
Yeah, I know.
20 hours a week you spend trying to get attention.
Well, I mean, I know you. Most people don't think the show on Saturday matters.
17 hours a week.
No. Yeah, there we go.
17 hours a week?
17. Yeah, we'll go 17.
It is. It's 15 on
and
the
then
show.
occasional apperances on other shows just
so
because I can.
Upwards of 17 hours a week for a guy who doesn't want to get noticed.
You're right. And on video more than anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The point is, yes. This is what we do. And I think because, I don't know how the hell we got here on a sports talk radio show, because
you went to a Braves game.
That's true. Because of that and because of how much there is going on out there, right? In my car right now, I have an option. I got when I bought the new car, I got like a free 3-month subscription to Sirius. So with Sirius included, I probably have legitimately upwards of 300 different opportunities to listen to whatever I want at the touch of a button. If you want to cut through that, you got to be good and you got to be loud. I think there's very few places that's not true anymore. Now, if you don't want to be noticed, that's great. But for Skrilla, who DJs public events, for Rob and Lonzo, who have to get attention. It's literally our job. At the end of the day, our number one job description is get attention. That's it. That's the job. Good, bad, ugly, and different. Get attention. You kind of have to be loud. And I think that's why the next generation is the loudest ever. except me. All right. Texture said, Rob, tell Zoe to quit acting humble when he's greedy as hell. Man, text line's coming for you, Zoe.
What am I greedy about? Yeah, I would love some more money. I ain't gonna get any. I would. You know what I'm greedy for? I'm greedy for them awards.
Word.
And I want some more.
Word.
I can't get enough of that.
Let's take a break. Come back. We'll ask what the X is going on. And then we'll be done for the day. Just like that. Back after this for the final segment of the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Shane said the S word on terrestrial radio, is that allowed? And I panicked. I'm like, I didn't say that. And then he went, serious, not the word replaced by boat. Yeah, I mean, we can.
Well, there was a time when you were not supposed to talk about it. You really should now. But, when all that stuff happened, when it first started, there were commercials playing. We had to drop the commercials, or if someone said it, I had to dump it. And this was a long time ago. But, yeah. Because there was uncertainty when Sirius and XM came out that it could actually put a dent in terrestrial radio, but we're still here. So by the way, Spur Daddy, that is we have conversations. That's not all on him. There are other people involved, and so don't blame him. That's all I'm saying. Don't blame him. And I've had the luxury of especially on Saturday nights, us experimenting with how to do stuff and doing it for the first time, and then other people get to do it. So if it fails, they don't have to worry about it. But I mean, if you are Keegan, I'm not in it. That would interrupt my video game time. I can't do that. Rob's only doing 2. He's got room for a third one, right? Fantasy?
No, I'm out. I'm in 2, and that's all I'm doing. I cannot commit hours every Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to running a bunch of teams.
Your next success begins with University of Maryland Global Campus. For more than 75 years, UMGC has been giving working adults the affordable, accredited, online education you need to reach the.
All right, Jeremy told you to look alive, and he called you Robert. I'm sure he's talking to you.
Ouch. Ouch.
You had to look and see who Jeremy is.
That guy. Yeah.
No-cost digital materials in place of most textbooks, affordable tuition, and financial resources make UMGC accessible. And with no application fee through August 31st, there's no better time to get started. Find the education you need to create the future you want. Choose from fields like business.
Yeah, I'm just guessing you guys can hear that all the way down the hall, even from here.
Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
This is protection. Yep, protection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes.
There he is. Yeah.
He's like on a 5-second delay. I can't help it. Just like me just saying that, he didn't even hear me say that. Exactly, Stephen. You start these conversations and you start to find out. I guess it's like what a therapist would do. I don't know. I've never been to one. We've went over why, but yeah, I think you have conversations. You start to a picture is formed. It all comes down to that pencil box. Yes, Chatter, I have had to dump Rob, and he said he didn't say what he said, and hence boat was born.
I didn't say what I said.
He did.
What came out
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
The difference between I said it versus what came out.
So you're fairly new to this show. When boat is used, that's the reason why. Boat is a big time Armada term for some reason. I don't know. I don't think, I've been in radio 26 years. I've been here 23 and a half. I'm trying to think. There may be like one host that I haven't had to dump, and that's it. I think it was Vince. I don't think I ever dumped Vince. I think everybody else that I've worked with, I've had to dump them.
You have never dumped me because I slipped and said a bad word.
We're
dumped me because
by the way,
I mispronounced something that turned into a bad word.
Right.
Or I've said something that I think is totally fine on the radio, but Lonzo has dump button control and did not agree. X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you.
All right, it's time to find out what the X is going on. Our first X, is something that's been going crazy all over the internet and seems to be important, and that would be Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson is trending. I don't know if there is a specific reason. I do know there has been a lot of conversation because Anthony Richardson looked mildly meh in his debut, but we were getting a ton of preseason reports that he was killing it for the Colts. I will also point out that it's very similar to Bryce Young. We were getting all the reports that he looked beyond NFL ready in camp, and then game number 1, he looked bad. So I don't know if that's why.
He's been named the starter.
Checks out.
Okay.
So he and BY having a very similar trajectory.
Yeah,
so far.
alerts all over the place. And you know who else has been named starter? I didn't break news on this because, we already knew this. But Schefter is a little behind on things. Bryce Young has been named the starter.
Not wait.
Yeah,
what?
I know. You know who else has been named the starter? CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud has been named the starter.
Wow.
If I ask you right now, today, this very second, based on what we've seen in one preseason game, to rank the order of success in year number 1 of those, let's go 4 guys. Let's throw Will Levis in there too. What's the order?
Dude, after watching the preseason for all these guys, this would be hard.
1, 2, 3,
this
4.
would be hard. Well,
Levis is 4. He's not the starter.
Yeah. So from what I've seen, but see, can I do this without going with my heart? I don't know. I got to be honest. I haven't seen Anthony Richardson play, but I heard it was pretty bad. So I'm going to go CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson. Just cause
CJ, Bryce, AR.
I hope it. Well, I don't know.
I actually think CJ, just based on what I saw, I actually think CJ looked the best. He's just playing on the worst team, like by a lot. I think CJ Stroud cannot be successful because of how atrocious the Texans are going to be.
Yeah, if we're talking about
Anthony
records,
Richardson's not much better. The only one who does not have an excuse not to have mild level success is Bryce
or Bruce, depending on
Bruce.
Yeah, it's Bruce when he has a bad game. All right, the next thing that's Xing is it just sounds better that way, at least to me, is Peacock. I'm a peacock. You've got to let me fly.
Gotta let me strut.
What do you even do here, Bob?
I don't know why they're trending. I know that obviously Peacock is where you can stream most of your WWE viewing.
You know what else you can stream? College football. And that's why.
Oh, did they pick up some games?
That's why they're streaming, including Ohio State versus Maryland.
Well, there's one I can't miss.
On Peacock. Yeah, but if you're a fan of a team and when they play a lower level team, they're going to put somebody else on TV and you don't want to pay a ton of money. But I already have the Big Ten network, so I would have been able to watch it on that. But still. All right, the next thing that's Xing is Jennifer Lawrence.
All right, so it is Jennifer Lawrence's 33rd birthday.
Wow, he knew that right away. Look at that.
Well, listen. Jennifer Lawrence is not only a smoke show, but she's a huge dork. And this will shock you. Rob Brown has always had a thing for women who are dorks and open about it. And J-Law is one of them, right? So earlier before the show, when I saw J-Law was trending, immediately clicked it. I love Jennifer Lawrence. She's Katniss. She's Mystique. Like, she's a nerd, and I love her for it, so I clicked on it. Well, it turns out, I don't know if there's a movie that came out a few months ago with Jennifer Lawrence. It is an old-school teen-style comedy.
She is, at least in the trailer, unrecognizable. I didn't know it was her till I was like, okay, where's she at? They say she's in it. Didn't realize that was her.
It's an old-school teen-style. It's like this generation's American Pie, right? The premise of the movie is there is a kind of a nerdy kid who's very in his shell, and the parents pay Jennifer Lawrence's character to start dating him, and she does, and she's like trying to break him out of his shell and like get him turned on to chicks or whatever. And then, as is the way it goes, she ends up falling for him. He finds out that the parents paid him. There's betrayal, and then blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I learned via Twitter earlier today, because I clicked on J-Law birthday trending, Jennifer Lawrence does a full nude scene in that movie. She does a fist fight on the beach, fully in the buff in that movie. That's not even the part that caught my attention. I mean, it did. What caught my attention, Lonzo, is that in that full nude fist fight, she hits a perfectly executed German suplex on a dude. I mean, perfectly executed German suplex. Phenomenal. I was like, damn, for two reasons.
Listen, if that's out on stream, the guys that are listening to this show, especially the people in the stream right now, they're going, oh, okay, what service is that?
Let me go see the German suplex.
Oh, it's only on paper. Yeah, of course, because wrestling fans.
Yeah,
right.
I just want to see a wrestling ability. Guys, that's it for the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow to do it all over again, but better, on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate later. Yeah! That's as fast as I could get us out.
I didn't expect that one to make us late. I didn't expect the gushing that we got there, but
I love Jennifer Lawrence. You should all love Jennifer Lawrence. She's amazing. And also, don't take your kids to that movie.
If you do take your kids to that movie, then you don't know what you're doing. I mean, just from the trailer, that's one of those, oh, Mom, we're going to see this, that you didn't sneak into another theater. I've never done that, but I've heard tell.
I saw American Pie because the Madre and
You know what?
Padre were
I've
just
never-
convinced it was a goofy, fun movie.
I've never seen American Pie.
Oh, man.
so-
American Pie dropped right
But
in the
I
Rob
know,
Brown coming of age era.
I know about it.
Yeah.
So
Stifler's mom has got it going.
So the Jennifer Lawrence movie sounds like a movie called My Tutor.
I don't know that movie.
Right, because it was a coming of age movie when I was
Gotcha.
a teenager. Yeah.
That checks out.
Same sort of thing. The
I
guy,
just know I clicked on it to go see Jennifer Lawrence and how old she was, and I got full in the buff Jennifer Lawrence.
wow, your internet's different than mine.
The algorithm, bro. All right, dudes and dudettes, you're all amazing people. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I really don't. It's a long way from now.
Some sports and some not sports.
Probably. That's probably it. Have a good day. Goodbye.